35 minutes just trying to get in. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And now it's become personal.
2-1, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Lakers jump out of the field, and they are. Your West Bloomfield Lakers are the state champions in Division I. West Bloomfield 41, Davison nothing. Pick it up. Goes in the other direction. Donovan Edwards at midfield. Picks it up at the 50, the 45. Down the 40. He's on the run to the 30. One man to beat, but he goes down to the 25. Nonetheless, Lakers will end up with great field possession.
Alex Short with one of his first passes of the game, and it's complete for a touchdown.
And Maxwell Hairston coming down with the reception. Snap. Kick is up. It's blocked. It is over. This one is over.
Today we're going to bully the bully. We're going to bully the bully today. And that's going to take every man in here to do your job.
Snap. We'll hand that ball off, and he's going to get wrapped up quick. It's a whole bunch of Lakers led by the Punisher himself, Brandon Davis-Sway. Lakers will return from the goal line up to the 20-yard line, to 25-30. Left side wide open. Cam Flowers, 45-50. Gates going to go all the way. Cam Flowers, touchdown, WB.
See, man, I believe in you guys. I believe in you guys because I know what you guys have done to get to this point. I know who you guys are.
Hands, takes a snap, hands off. Actually, keeps it around the right side. He's got a big hole. Vance, the freshman, goes all the way in his second offensive play for West Bloomfield, and he gets a Laker touchdown.
Jackson out of the shotgun, all the time in the world, looking way up the field. The Durham caught at the 45, and he's going yard. Still on his feet, and in the end zone. Touchdown, Elijah Durham. Looks out to his left, pass, and it's picked off. Jaden Allos again. Jaden Allos all the way home.
Now today's our day. It's our time right now. Ain't nobody gonna give it to us. We gotta go take it.
Mill handed off to Shakespeare. Now Shakespeare's looking long. Does he have it? He does. Oh, another one. Touchdown, WB. Handoff up the middle. It's going to be Davis. He's going to break free. Here comes the big fella. Davis on the run. One man to beat. Gets inside the 5. The sun gleams over Oxford, Michigan, a population just under 3,500 people. And on Friday nights, they go where the Wildcats prey on opponents all across the OAA. Good evening and welcome to Laker Football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Alongside Matt Catoni, I'm Tyler Keefe, live from one of the most iconic football stadiums in high school football across the state of Michigan, Wildcat Stadium, where Oxford plays host to 5-0 West Bloomfield High School tonight. They had a tough, gritty, hard-fought win last week at home against Birmingham Groves. Let's take a look back at the best moments of week number 5. West Bloomfield returns home after taking care of business in Lake Orion, looking to remain the top team in green and white as Birmingham Groves comes to town. The Lakers begin with the football, but Groves holds them short on offense. Then that's the same favor that the Lakers and the Falcons would trade back and forth all throughout the first 12 minutes of this contest. It would take until the opening moments of quarter number 2 before Bryce Coburn breaks the stalemate for a 3-0 Lakers lead with a field goal. On the next possession, Lavelle Shannon hands it off, and while the Uni reads 0-0, it's a double-digit gain on the ground for Birmingham Groves. But the joy won't last long. Next play, Jeremiah Whitley gets the carry, and the ball comes loose. Ezekiel Davis collects the change, and the Lake Show exhales in their own red zone. Here come the Lakers now on one of the longest drives of their season. Nearly 9 minutes come off the clock, but Groves makes another critical stop. That sends Bryce Coburn back out on cleanup duty. He sends it through the uprights, and it's a 6-0 lead for WB at the half. On to the third, still a very defensive game with both teams struggling to make a move. Then the Lakers get back into plus territory, but a fumble about 5 minutes into the quarter puts Birmingham back in possession. Now the Falcons will hold the pigskin for their own sustained drive. 4.5 minutes later, after advancing up the gridiron, junior Jeremiah Whitley hits pay dirt for the first TD of the ball game. After an over 33.5-minute drought, Groves takes the lead 7-6. The Lakers take over and march up the field and into the fourth quarter, where Jamal Shakespeare finds the end zone on the ground. That's his 4th rushing touchdown in the last 2 weeks. Lakers try to even things out and make it a solid 1-touchdown lead by going for 2. Jackson Carver dashes to his left, sets off on a foot race to the pylon, and gets contact from JT Thomas as he dives. That knocks the ball loose and out of play. No good on the 2-point conversion. We hold firm with a 12-7 Laker lead. Groves tries to get back involved on the ground, but Will Espy makes a stop on 3rd down. Then he's not done. Shannon under center. Far delayed handoff, and Whitley can't get anything. Everybody's back there. Once again, Will Espy. None shall pass. Lakers take over deep in Groves territory. A touchdown will close the deal on a 5-0 season start. So the Lake Show turns to the all-around superstar. He can do it on defense, and now he can do it on offense too. Will Espy takes the rock for a touchdown and then a 2-point conversion, and the L Boys expand their lead to 20-7. Last chance for Birmingham Groves, and the Lakers defense has had enough. They close them out. Nathan Mafucci clocks the ball, and the Lakers avenge last year's Week 2 loss by hitting mid-season undefeated. A perfect 5-0 for the West Bloomfield Lakers. The same start they had 10 years ago to their season, Matt, and at the end of that season, they had nothing but wins going into playoff time. A perfect 9-0, and at this point in 2025, 4 more teams stand in their way. It all begins tonight with the Oxford Wildcats.
Yeah, really, tonight is kind of a test of their discipline and kind of fortitude. Not really looking ahead to next week is the one thing that they can't do. And, you know, if they take care of business tonight, it really puts them in a good position next week against Clarkston.
West Bloomfield in 12 all-time matchups against Oxford has been by far the more dominant team. 10-2 overall record. Last year, Matt broke a 10-year winning streak for the West Bloomfield Lakers. Haven't lost since that very first matchup against Oxford way back in 2013 as they joined the OAA. Meanwhile, Oxford home tonight, homecoming night at Oxford High School, and they're coming off a very big emotional victory in a rivalry game, 41-34, earning the Double O trophy last week at Lake Orion, and it's staying home in Oxford. So they're coming in confident, and they're coming in on a big night at home.
Yeah, really bouncing back after 2 blowout losses against Rochester Adams and Clarkston. They really grind out a win against Lake Orion, stave them off in the fourth quarter, and now they can really kind of play spoiler to West Bloomfield. They can't get the OAA Red title, but they can really prevent West Bloomfield from winning it.
There's no room for error for West Bloomfield tonight. The OAA Red Division, it is down to 2 teams at this point in the season. The West Bloomfield Lakers and the Clarkston Wolves, both teams in position to take the OAA Red title, possibly tonight. With a win, West Bloomfield secures their at least a chance at the OAA Red Division title. Same goes for Clarkston, but if West Bloomfield or Clarkston lose tonight and the other were to win, next week is a winner-take-all in that game. So West Bloomfield would have to get out of here with a win. Clarkston needs to get out of this week with a win to make next week the OAA Red Division Championship. But Matt, this is the time of the year where you're starting to prepare week by week for playoff time. That's even more reason, no room for error.
Yeah, and again, like I said, Oxford is really trying to cement this as a playoff season for themselves. A fourth win this week would really kind of make them a shoo-in for the playoffs, especially considering they're playing the 8th-ranked team in the state. So really, if you're West Bloomfield, you can't underestimate these Oxford Wildcats.
You think about some of the best environments in high school football, reminiscent of some of the best moments and best places in college football. Enter Sandman, the entrance song for the Oxford Wildcats at Big Blue. Very similar to Virginia Tech, bringing the energy on homecoming night as their captains and their team prepare to enter Wildcat Stadium for a big matchup against the West Bloomfield Lakers. Big performances are in tow this time of the year, Matt. You need your playmakers to show up for West Bloomfield. Definitely was the case last week for their top players. As you see, the Oxford Wildcats take the field tonight. They've got big obstacles to overcome. Chief among those with the West Bloomfield Lakers is their star athlete, a two-way player, Will Espy.
Yeah, really, Espy and Shakespeare are kind of the unsung heroes of this Lakers team, really shouldering a lot of the responsibilities on both offense and defense. Espy, really flashing as a runner so far this year.
Yeah, Espy, a two-way player for West Bloomfield, led the team in rushing in Week 5 with just under 70 yards, has been averaging nearly 5 yards a carry throughout the last couple of weeks, 6 yards a carry on the season, and he's starting to get a lot of offers at the next level. Got a Butler offer before last week, and Saginaw Valley State giving him an offer just on Tuesday. Also getting recognition from the press as he was a candidate for mid-season Player of the Year from the Detroit Free Press. As both teams are on the field, they honor our nation with the national anthem. We'll pause. It is a beautiful evening for football in Oxford, Michigan, as you see a beautiful backdrop. Their iconic logo on their high school, the American flag, and the Oxford Strong flag at half staff this evening as we get ready for a big game in the OAA Red Division. All the Lakers getting pumped up on the sideline as we get ready for OAA football. And Matt, big players for West Bloomfield. We went over kind of the key guy for them in the Laker number 12. For Oxford, they got a big-time player on their side, too, 3-year starting quarterback, Jack Hendricks.
Yeah, really, two of the players that you got to look for in this game are Jamal Shakespeare and Jack Hendricks, kind of the two main quarterbacks for these teams, and who each team is going to kind of lean on to kind of steady things for the offense and get things going.
Jack Hendricks in his third year at the helm. This coaching staff loving what they've been seeing from the gunslinger over there this season. The seasoned veteran had 30 touchdown passes over the last 2 seasons, over 1,000 all-purpose yards in both of those seasons as well. As we now see the captains for both of these squads take the field for the coin toss tonight, introducing themselves. A lot of respect between these two programs. Very hard-working. Loved the grind of the game. They study the game. They compete hard, even in their down years. Last year, somewhat of that for West Bloomfield. This year, looking like that on paper a little bit for Oxford. But both these teams, even when they're down, they're not out.
Yeah, really, that is a theme across the OAA Red, that you can never really count out your opponent week by week because there's so much talent in this division that, they can take off at any time.
Left to right, your captains for the Lakers, Tank Pittman, Jamal Shakespeare, Jeremiah Benson, and Will Espy. It's the officiating crew. Have West Bloomfield call it in the air for the coin toss, explaining the rules to both sides as happens every single week. Oxford has won the toss. They will defer to the second half. So West Bloomfield will receive first tonight. As you take a look at third-year head coach Zach Hilbers, big win for him last week, number 20 on his career as a head coach.
Yeah, he's really just established himself in the OA Red, really a conference that has so much prestige and legacy. He's really put himself in there as one of the best and premier coaches in this division, if not the state.
His record, 20-9 overall, had a stellar first season at the helm, 10-3, where the Lakers went all the way to the state semifinals and were quite literally one play away from making their way back down to Ford Field. He's 6-5 in the regular season against OAA Red opponents. That increases to 8-5 if you include a couple of playoff matches against Rochester Adams and Clarkston over the past several years. Lakers going to return this kickoff. Bryce Tillman and Obi Duru are back, the returners for the West Bloomfield Lakers. Tillman having a stellar season returning the football, averaging just under 42 yards per return. Obi Duru doing about the same, 33.4 yards per kick return. So always scary territory for any team kicking the ball off each and every week against these West Bloomfield Lakers. 48 minutes of pigskin ahead. We've got 12 minutes on the clock. We're ready to get underway at Big Blue, the iconic Blue Field for the Oxford Wildcats. Your home setting tonight. The Lakers will travel left to right across the field from our vantage point on the away side tonight. Oxford defending right. They have a couple of kickers. Eric Palacios, a junior, and their field goal kicker, Ryan Clark, also does kickoffs. Also, a couple of soccer players. Sometimes that does conflict with football, so we could see a couple different people kicking the football tonight. And Ryan Peach, also a soccer player at Oxford High School, is their punter. And we are underway. A booming kick bounces to the 20-yard line. It is fumbled. It is recovered. Obi Duru's got it. And he'll stay right there. Tripped up, taken down, gets to the 20, and that is it.
Yeah, really a bit of confusion on who was going to field that. And Duru eventually takes it, but, by the time he gets the ball in his hand, Oxford's already flown down the field and did a good job of covering that kick.
Now, one thing about these Oxford Wildcats, they play with toughness and aggression. They got big guys on the defensive side and in the special teams. They are young, but they are hungry to make some big plays against some of the top competition in the state of Michigan. They're coming off an OAA Red Division championship, and those seniors, those returning juniors, limited on both sides of the ball, they want to leave their mark. For West Bloomfield, Carver under center, 1st and 10. It is a handoff to Will Espy. He'll get maybe 2, and tough going on 1st down.
Yeah, and he's really just thrown to the ground almost immediately upon getting to the line of scrimmage by number 42, Anderson Kruppa, and just a phenomenal job right there, making sure Espy does not get past the line of scrimmage.
A couple of pancakes and a couple of defensive tackles on those offensive linemen set up the traffic jam for Will Espy on the first play from scrimmage. Big game for him last week, that 4th quarter. Touchdown and a 2-point conversion. 2nd down, play action. Carver gets it outside. It is caught. Up the field goes Cameron Hall and out of bounds. And he has to hop over the bench. He had a little bit of zip to him there.
Yeah, really showcasing that hurdle ability right there, almost, showing off his track ability right there. But a phenomenal job of getting that pass in traffic.
That play action in the backfield, the blocking from Shakespeare and Joel Davis gave Jackson Carver just the right amount of time to make something happen. Now, 1st down at the 37-yard line on the West Bloomfield side of the football. Carver back under center with Espy in the backfield. He'll take the football. B gap right side to the 45 and up to the 47. Will just about get him there. Right on the line to gain. West Bloomfield likely going to move the chains a 2nd time already on this drive.
Yeah, and that boy just opens up perfectly. That looked like there was about 6 yards before he even touched anyone. And from the sound of it, I just heard why. It sounds like over the loudspeaker, they just announced a holding call on the Lakers.
Yeah, sometimes just too good to be true. Holding has played a factor with these West Bloomfield Lakers past couple of weeks. As good as they have been, 5-0, you kind of forget that they've got a young offensive line. Travis Robertson, the left tackle, the lone remaining starter from the 2024 team. Be first and long for West Bloomfield with 10:55 to go in the first quarter. Carver, another handoff. SB tackled right away. Everybody getting there. Gavin Munson, the first to the ball carrier, makes the big stop.
Yeah, really just nothing doing right there for the Lakers. They get the big run the previous play, but, nothing going the next time. Oxford keying in on the run after giving up 10 yards on that negated play.
Giving up second and long for West Bloomfield. Team travels well. They come along with their cheerleaders. A lot of the West Bloomfield faithful making their way north tonight on a beautiful evening at Oxford High School. As we have our first timeout of the evening, I want to remind you every single week after West Bloomfield plays football on Friday nights, early on the next week over, we'll talk it over right here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM alongside head coach Zach Hilbers and some of the top players on your Lakers team each and every week. Willie Edwards had a big week 5 for West Bloomfield, has had a stellar season in his first as a wide receiver. As you take a look at him going into the slot on the far side. Joined me on This Week in Laker Football earlier on this week. Plenty of standout players coming up tonight out of the shotgun. Steps up, steps outside, looking upfield, looking long sideline, and in double coverage, out of reach and incomplete. Perfect pressure long down the field by the Oxford secondary, brings up fourth down.
He steps up into the pocket. If it's not 3rd and 20, he probably would have had a rushing lane there, but, those holding calls, last week one wipes away a touchdown. This week it puts you in 3rd and forever.
That Oxford secondary got a lot of their defensive talent out there. Seth Tabor, all OAA in 2024. Chris Pullman, Jackson Tackenberry, Chase Cardona, and Grayson Boyle make up the lineup. The lone missing Wildcat this week on that front, Brady Preetz. As the Lakers will punt, it'll bounce about the 35-yard line, take a Laker bounce to the opposite 30, will switch sides, and Oxford will get their first opportunity tonight against the West Bloomfield Lakers, led by quarterback Jack Hendricks, who went off a year ago against these Lakers in West Bloomfield, 10 for 15 for 135 yards passing and 2 touchdowns in what was a blowout victory for the Oxford Wildcats, limiting West Bloomfield to 14 points in that 14-38 stomping in week 7.
And really, in this matchup, since the turn of the decade, the Lakers have averaged 33 points per game. So that really last year is something that has to be on both teams' minds. Oxford hoping to build off of that, and West Bloomfield hoping to get revenge.
As you see these Wildcats take the field after a passionate win a week ago on the road against arguably their biggest rival in Lake Orion, a 41-34 victory. Brings them to 3-2 on the season. Hendricks out of the gun, hands it off. Shakes and bakes to the 30 and up to about the 33-yard line goes Chris Pullman.
And really just a good job by the Lakers of corralling that run. Kind of looks like he's going to have a little bit of daylight, gets outside the tackle. But you see right there, number 2, as always, Jamal Shakespeare showing up where it counts, redirects that run and makes it only about a 3 or 4 yard run.
Yeah, look to see 6 get the pigskin a lot tonight. Had 2 of the biggest runs for Oxford late in the game last week to turn the tide against Lake Orion. A 58 and a 53-yard touchdown, each in the fourth quarter. As Hendricks goes under center, hands it off. Oxford breaks loose, gets up to the 49, and Keaton Posiak gets a real nice gain on second down.
And just perfectly executed. We talk about that. You see the fullback right there, pick up Tank Pittman in the backfield, and right from there, you just see Posiak spring forward for a solid gain of about 15 yards.
Really hard worker, a linebacker also for this team. Focused this offseason on building chemistry with his teammates. And it's showing there, the patience to wait for his blockers to get in place and help them move the chains. First down at the 49 for Oxford. Hendricks, play action in traffic, throws it, diving grab, and incomplete, intended. In that case, going nowhere for Grayson Boyle.
Yeah, trying to get a little bit of the play action going right there. They've done a great job running the football, but Jeremiah Benson not fooled whatsoever. Impacts that throwing lane and how quick he has to get that ball out and makes it 2nd and 10.
Sometimes you just got to have the patience when you're in pursuit, not to over pursue. Take a step back every now and then and wait for the quarterback to make a decision, especially when you got the size advantage against Jack Hendricks. He tries to throw that football over you. You put a hand up, you knock it down. 2nd down, toss to Pullman. Gets outside, shifting back in, gets to midfield at the top of the O. That's about it.
Yeah, Bryce Tillman did a phenomenal job of not letting that run get to the outside. Look at him just fly up and get outside of that blocker and force Pullman back to the inside.
As Pullman goes back to the sideline alongside Jackson Tackaberry. West Bloomfield keeping its starters on that D-line on the field, including Jamar Ray, who's gotten more and more reps as the season's gone on the edge. 3rd down for Oxford at the 50-yard line. Hendricks under center. Out to the shotgun, takes the snap, looking right. Inside, caught and swallowed immediately, going backwards. Football goes to Keaton Posiak, and it goes south.
Drawing up a screen right here. Oxford, lets the defensive line get in, but the quarterback right there, number 24, not fooled by that. Kyron Merriweather flies back there, tackles him for a loss, and now the Lakers are in good position to get the ball back here.
Yeah, 1 first down for Oxford, much similar to West Bloomfield, and now they're going to have to give this ball up to the Lakers. And West Bloomfield, more than likely, all goes well, going to get that 2nd offensive drive of the night. Low snap, it is bobbled, got to get rid of it. He gets a good punt off nonetheless. Fair catch called and caught low at about the 27-yard line. So now the Lakers talk things over on the sideline. Zach Hilbers, Coach Rise leading the charge for that offense. Ken Rise, a longtime offensive coordinator under his now 3rd head coach with Zach Hilbers, but the longevity on that sideline, the chemistry of that coaching staff plays a big factor alongside the chemistry of these Laker players.
Yeah, and that's really the biggest attribute of Hilber's coaching career so far, is maintaining that culture here at West Bloomfield.
Last West Bloomfield drive, just over 2 minutes. Carver under center, handoff up the gut. SB gonna get a couple and run right back into traffic. Officials called that ball down with a lack of forward progress despite the Lakers' late push.
Yeah, he does a good job of getting back to the line of scrimmage and trying to just power through the hole right there. But Oxford not budging, stops his forward progress, and the Lakers only pick up about 2 right there.
About 6.5 to play in the first quarter at Oxford High School. No score between the Lakers and the home team. Oxford on their homecoming night on their dark blue field and their dark blue uniforms with yellow writing. Play action, Carver, handoff, Duru, gonna get the sideline, gonna get some more, and a big gain for Obi Duru on 2nd down.
Yeah, and that's one thing you see a lot from the Lakers. They try and get to that edge and get those speedy guys out to the perimeter, and Duru is definitely a guy as a defense that you cannot let him get a step on you. Otherwise, he's gonna burn you for about 15 yards like he did right there.
A little more of a quiet week last week for Obi Duru. 8 carries, just 30 yards. Had him fall from the top rusher to number 2 for West Bloomfield. Will SB taking over. The Lakers on 3rd down, hand it off, up the gut, gonna get just shy of the 50-yard line. Lakers starting to feel it in the rushing game.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's definitely starting to show up more and more, is kind of that power running game, as that's an aspect of SB's game that you see some of these other playmakers lack.
Neither team has crossed the plane of the 50-yard line tonight. Will West Bloomfield do it here on second down? Carver with one split wide to either side. He'll hand it off to Duru. He'll go left. He'll pass the plane. 40 to the 30. Got the sideline. Tripped up. Still on his feet. Shifting out of bounds. And another huge gain back to back for Obi Duru.
Yeah, but it looks like that's going to be coming back. Oxford pointing back towards the behind the play. Looks like there's going to be a holding call on the Lakers or a block in the back, but something to negate that phenomenal play from Duru.
Unfortunate because Obi Duru got the football and just had nothing but open field toward the sideline, where you give a player like that with that kind of speed, open field, it's almost always going to end in the end zone.
Illegal block. Replay second down.
Yeah, just as you said, as you hear the call from the officiating crew tonight, that will set West Bloomfield back. They're going to remain on their side of the field at the 49-yard line. The fifth play of this drive. Shakespeare's first rep at quarterback. In some traffic, getting hit, gonna go down. West Bloomfield loses a lot. They got a couple players in there. It's gonna be Gavin Munson, Keaton Posiak, and a whole lot of Wildcats.
Bringing down Shakespeare right there for the sack, but even more important right there, Shakespeare's helmet comes off at the end of that play. So now on this third down, arguably your best playmaker is unavailable to you.
And in the spot where you really want him, even if it's not at that quarterback position on third and long, it gives you those opportunities. Just one more guy that you got to focus on. If you're head coach and defensive coordinator Trevor Potts and this Oxford defensive front. Ball now at the 46-yard line for West Bloomfield. Carver, delayed handoff. SB past the 50. Breaks a tackle, gets to the sideline and out of bounds. Chased out by Carter Unruh.
Yeah, and really, SB's acceleration is arguably the best on this team. You see him on this draw right there, kind of fake the blocking, fake like he's blocking, and just does a great job of just almost hitting top speed as soon as he gets the football.
Escaped the dive from Chase Cardona. Made his way out of bounds. West Bloomfield, the first team tonight to cross the 50-yard line on their second drive. And they'll have a first down in Oxford territory. Carver will be under center. With Roshan out to his right wide. Handoff to Duru. Shakes and bakes, spins inside, gets up to just shy of the 40. Obi Duru continuing to compete with his athleticism and make plays.
Yeah, and even if you set the edge against the Lakers, Duru is so fast that he can just almost get about 3 to 5 yards if there's nothing available.
3:45 to go in the first period. It is a tie ball game. No score in Oxford between West Bloomfield and Oxford High Schools. Jackson Carver back under center, puts Duru in motion, hands it off. SB looking for the sideline and gonna get tripped up. Coverage just about perfect there from Grayson Boyle. Sticks with the running back, spies him, dives, gets below his knees and trips him up, grabbing the ankles and shutting this down to 35.
Yeah, really just alternating carries between Duru and SB this drive, and so far it's working pretty well. Both of them ripping off about 5 to 6 yards each carry.
About average for them on the season. Great for running backs. As they'll hand it off to SB again, he'll break through the B gap left side and go right into traffic. Lakers will push him forward and keep him forward about 2 yards. Again, pretty characteristic on those plays up the gut tonight. The compete level between these two fronts has been spectacular in these opening nearly 10 minutes.
Yeah, all you needed was 2 yards right there. The Lakers did a phenomenal job of just winning that line of scrimmage and holding it for a few seconds just so SB could get the line to gain.
Yeah, right about 10 plays so far for West Bloomfield as this drive surpasses 4 minutes and approaches 5. Number 33, Carver, looking long, right side to the corner, and it is caught but out of bounds. They're going to call that incomplete. That would be correct as Shannon Roshan gets the target.
The Lakers, running the ball fantastic so far here tonight. And when you do that, it gives you the opportunity to lean on that play-action game that has been so dominant for them this year. But unfortunately, Oxford's prepared for that.
They had to throw that outside of the range of double coverage there near the near side corner of the end zone. Right inside the 5. Roshan elevated, got to the football. Out of reach and out of bounds, so nothing doing. It'll be second down for West Bloomfield. Out of the shotgun, Carver. With Joel Davis in the backfield draw, and he is swallowed up right away. Oxford sensed that in their lizard brain and got right to the big running back, Gavin Munson. Shuts it down.
Yeah, really one of the few carries this year that Davis has been tackled around the line of scrimmage, and just a phenomenal job right there by Munson to get that tackle and make this a 3rd and long.
And he can wrestle with the biggest of your players. A district finals appearance won in his matchup in the 190-pound class back in February. It shows off those skills. Taking down the 190-pound senior running back, Joel Davis. And now a payoff play for West Bloomfield, 3rd and long. Carver looking to his left, caught by Cam Hall. He's going to fight up toward the 25 and go backwards from about the 27 as a handful of Wildcats shut down that play.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be an illegal man or an eligible man downfield right there. He saw the referee tap his head at the end of that play. If you're Oxford, you probably decline this. Instead of making it 3rd and 15, you take the 4th and 10, 4th and 8.
Well, Trevor Potts and company not keen to listen to Matt Gattoni. At his consultation, they'll make West Bloomfield replay that 3rd down, make it 3rd and long with $1:25 to go in this scoreless first period at Wildcat Stadium on homecoming night.
Kind of playing with fire with West Bloomfield's weapons, giving them an extra opportunity to just kind of burn you downfield.
Well, the Lakers sail in with fire, and the Wildcats come in with heavy, sharp claws. 3rd and long, Carver. Play action, got a pocket, up the field, and overhead, incomplete going for Cam Hall, 4th down.
Yeah, really a phenomenal play right there by number 28, Keaton Posiak. Just almost gets his hands on that football and picks it off, but really did a phenomenal job of stopping a huge gainer for the Lakers right there.
That is a big stop for Oxford. A gut check decision by the coaching staff to accept the penalty and let West Bloomfield replay the 3rd and long. Now West Bloomfield in plus territory, 4th down. They're out of field goal range. Carver will line up in the shotgun. He is one of their punters for this season, and their primary punter, likely just going to pooch this one off. Exactly what the doctor ordered, to land on the sideline at the 15-yard line. Pretty good setup from the special teams front against Oxford as West Bloomfield terminates that drive once again without a score with 1 minute and 13 seconds to go in the first quarter. The first sustained drive of the night, over 10 plays for the Lakers in about 5 minutes and 44 seconds before giving this ball back to Oxford, where they will get their second opportunity tonight on the offensive side, led by Jack Hendricks and company. And they got some playmakers over there, Matt. A lot of new faces on that offense, but the same philosophy coming back and determined players in the skill positions.
And that opening drive, you saw Oxford really run the football pretty well up until they got to midfield. So it's going to be interesting to see if they come out and kind of lean on that.
From their 17-yard line, they will begin in a bunch formation with Hendricks under center. Handoff, and just as he delivers, so does the whistle. Stops that play before anybody can take the ball anywhere. And Seth Tabor is going to spin around and let this thing restart. It's going to be a penalty on West Bloomfield. Offside, that's going to help Oxford set them up with a 1st and 5.
Lining up offsides there, just very crucial, just giving away yardage. They're starting the drive in the shadow of their end zone. You know they're probably going to run it the first play, kind of just getting over eager right there, and now making it a 1st and short.
We are all tied up at absolute 0 at Oxford High School. Late in the first quarter, about 11 minutes have been played. Scoreless at Big Blues. First and short out of the shotgun. Hendricks option, takes it himself, looking for the line to gain and had to terminate that a couple of yards shy as he was looking straight down the face mask of Isaiah Gray.
And just a good job of kind of forcing the issue there on that read play by Jamar Ray. Only about 3 or 4 yards right there, but because of that first down penalty, now Oxford's looking at about a 2nd and 1, 2nd and 2.
Once again, as we saw in the fourth quarter last week, on some key plays, defensively, Will Espy put the pressure on the ball carrier and prevented a big play on first and short. Nonetheless, it will be 2nd and short for the Wildcats. Hendricks out of the shotgun and the man behind him, who will take the ball on the handoff and will escape at the 30. Again, Pullman got some space, got a blocker at the 50. Still going, 30, down to the 25. Chris Pullman takes a yard.
And at the end of that play, Bryce Tillman almost rips the football away, but a phenomenal job. Shakes number 7, Christian Banks, out of his shoes, but just a phenomenal run right there. And building off that momentum that they had in the first drive in the run game. And that ball didn't look like it did pop loose for a second.
That'll get the crowd going on homecoming night. The third play of the drive is the biggest gain of the night for either one of these teams. With under a minute to play, Oxford has 1st and 10 in Laker territory. Their first trip in the plus territory tonight, as they will line up at the Laker 26-yard line. Hendricks from the 24 will hand it off. Few yards will move the Wildcats up to about the 20-yard line as Seth Tabor takes the football.
So far tonight, Oxford really kind of balancing out their rushing attack, keeping a steady rotation of guys in to make sure that whoever has the ball is very well rested.
Both these teams content to pound the rock tonight, as we'll come to the end of the first quarter with nothing doing for either team. Another defensive matchup to start the first 12 minutes of the evening. After one, West Bloomfield and Oxford tied at 0. It's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Today I'm going to tell you about sportsmanship because it's important. Treat your opponents the way you would want to be treated. My mom says that. Listen to the referees. It's their job. Be nice to their team and our team. Cheer them on. Always play fair. It's the right thing to do. It's sportsmanship. It's not that hard.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal.
Hendricks will hand it off. Pullman going to take it toward the outside in traffic. Hendricks will hand it off. Pullman going to take it toward the outside in traffic. Tries to. The Lakers stay strong. The junior running back.
And not able to break free like he did on that long run about 2 or 3 plays before. Lakers do a good job of rallying to the football and bringing him down to force this about 3rd and medium.
First play of the second period underway on homecoming night at Oxford High School. There's nothing they want more. After 10 consecutive years of losing to the West Bloomfield Lakers, to start a winning streak of their own, to do it on homecoming night and spoil a possible OAA Red Championship. Hendricks, delayed handoff, outside, here comes Tabor, end zone, touchdown, Oxford strikes first.
And just a physical display by Oxford on their first 2 drives. Coming out, just establishing the run and just trying to show what they want to do tonight, and that's come out and hit the Lakers.
Seth Tabor gets in the end zone. 2 consecutive weeks, had a rushing touchdown last week against Lake Orion, and this time around strikes first against the West Bloomfield Lakers with 58 seconds into the second period.
And now if you're the Lakers, again, you haven't spent that much time trailing this season. And this is a crucial response for the Lakers because, like you mentioned, OAA red title on the line. They want to go into that game next week undefeated with that, home field advantage. They got to answer this touchdown now.
After the touchdown rush from Chris Pullman and the PAT from Oxford, they have an early 7-0 lead. We'll keep it here with you on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. A lot has happened so far in these first nearly 13 minutes of football, and a lot has been going on lately in Greater West Bloomfield. You want to know what that is? Tune in each and every weekday to the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Newsmakers, interesting stories, and everything you need to know about the big projects affecting you and yours in your schools, in your businesses, in your government, and across the community. It's all only on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM, and always on our social media. Oxford squibs this one. It's going to take a lot of bounces. It is bobbled again, recovered at the 15. Now West Bloomfield going backwards. That's not the right way. He goes down to the 10. Big break for Oxford on the kickoff.
And now that's the second time on kickoffs where they've had some trouble fielding the kick. And right there, he makes the mistake of just continuing to go backwards, trying to find space. And that's the last thing you want to do on kick return.
Panic sets in, and you just spiral downhill. Downhill happened to be toward the Oxford end zone, and now West Bloomfield going to have to start this drive from the 13-yard line on their side of the field. They began going left to right across this field from our vantage point on the away side of Wildcat Stadium. Second period, they're going right to left as Carver looking for signals from the sideline. Play has not been whistled active yet, as West Bloomfield gets their personnel into the ball game. Joel Evans makes his way on the field. First down is a pass screen out to Obi Duru, and too much juice on that one. It's incomplete.
And I have to think that, rushing to the line right there, kind of having to worry about if you have all your ducks in a row, trying to make sure you have all your offensive linemen out there. I have to think that may have impacted the pass right there for Carver.
Yeah, all that communication comes into play. It takes up a lot of time. You don't have as much for setup, for reading the defense, for maybe calling out what you see. You just got to snap the football and make the play, do what you designed. That goes for everybody on the field, all 11 players, and then the skills. If you're not in your spot when that happens, you're set up for failure. Pass outside, aim for Willie Edwards. It is deflected and incomplete, lands in the dirt at the 15.
Yeah, it looked like it was Munson who got a hand on that pass right there. He's been saying his name a lot so far here tonight. Right there, he gets matched up with the running back in pass block right there and just overpowers him, pretty much pushes him into Carver's lap and gets a tip pass.
Been a big night for the right end, Gavin Munson. And now, pressure situation for West Bloomfield on their third drive from scrimmage tonight. Carver out of the shotgun, got time, looks up the field and into triple coverage, incomplete. Again, looking for Willie Edwards.
Yeah, just so far, nothing opening up downfield for the Lakers passing game. Right now, if they can't get anything going, they're going to find themselves in a position where they can't even fall back on the run game.
Jackson Tackerberry was the man in front of Willie Edwards, with a couple of Wildcats flanking him on either side, shutting that down. This has been a guy who's been virtually automatic catching the football in 2025, and nothing doing on 2 consecutive plays as Carver will line up on his goal line to punt this away. It'll be a nice one. It'll pass the 50-yard line. And Actually, no, they'll land about the 35. He had tons of hang time, caught a little gust of wind in favor of Oxford. They'll have very favorable field position on their third offensive drive, beginning at the 35.
And again, just an avalanche of mistakes right here for the Lakers. They get that penalty to negate a nice play, put them in a 3rd and long position their last time out. Then they give up the touchdown. Error on the kickoff puts you in the shadow of your own end zone. Now right here, another special teams error to give Oxford phenomenal field position to start their 3rd drive.
Just 30 seconds on that drive for West Bloomfield. A 3-and-out and a punt. And now Oxford will begin their 3rd offensive drive. From the 35-yard line, Hendricks under center with a man in motion. He'll take it himself. Here comes Jeremiah Benson. And he dumps it off. It is caught. Up past the 25, reaching toward the 23, and another play in the air. Grayson Boyle takes the pigskin, and Jack Hendricks, he gets outside the pocket. He is such a big-time playmaker in his 3rd year at the helm.
Benson drifts a little bit too far inside right there, and Hendricks makes him pay for it right there. Just keeps on extending that play, gets a nice pass out to where his playmaker can just get upfield.
These Wildcats are hungry. West Bloomfield in position to take the OAA Red Division Championship. Oxford doesn't want to give it up just yet. Under 10 minutes to play in the half. It is 7-0 Wildcats. They'll hand it off outside to the 20, nearing the line to gain. Stopped by a few Lakers, including Will Espy. And it'll just about get to the line to gain as they hand that ball off. Content to really pound the rock tonight. That time, it goes to Jackson Tackerberry.
Now the Lakers right here have to really try and throw off this Oxford offense off their schedule. Just maybe put them in a position where they're kicking a long field goal here.
Not the best result you can ask for other than some sort of a miracle when you're down 7-0 early. Toss to the right side. Pullman passes the line to gain. Gets down near the 10. Chris Pullman having a fantastic first half tonight, the primary running back, and it seems every time he gets a few feet outside of the tackles, he's going to move the chains, he's going to make a big play.
Yeah, the Oxford rushing offense tonight has been physical and dominant to an extent, but Pullman has really been that key player for them so far tonight.
Guy who is used to being a playmaker, one of many two-sport athletes at Oxford High School. As a freshman, scored 18 goals and secured 13 assists on the lacrosse team. He's used to being a big-time scorer on this field. And the 13, Hendricks.
Burn the Lakers with to open up this drive, this time to Pullman. And Pullman gets the football, and almost nobody is near him or in front of him, and he just almost waltzes right into the end zone.
Very rare that West Bloomfield has trailed in 2025. This is the first time that they have trailed by 2 scores this season. As Eric Palacios will attempt his second PAT of the evening. It goes up, it goes through just like that. It is 14 for Oxford, 0 for your Lakers. You're watching Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Inside your brain is the control center for how you think, talk, learn, and remember. 10 tips to keep it healthy. Get moving. Read a book. Reduce stress. Sleep well. Eat healthy. Quit smoking. Manage your blood pressure. Challenge your mind. Wear a helmet. Stay social. Be mindful of brain health now to help prevent things like dementia later. Learn more at michigan.gov/mybrainhealth.
Three offensive drives for the Oxford Wildcats, all averaging between 2 and 3 minutes, and 2 of those resulting in scores. It's now 14-0 Wildcats. As Khalik Robinson takes the kickoff return up to about the 30-yard line, out of bounds, shy of that for West Bloomfield, in much better field position than their last offensive drive that went nowhere quick in a 3-and-out.
Yeah, the first time they're able to field the kickoff cleanly right there, and no coincidence, they get their best starting field position in a drive. They really have to answer Oxford with some points right here.
7:58 to play in this first half. West Bloomfield in a position they've been used to imposing on their opponents this season, down 14-0 on the road at Big Blue on homecoming night at Oxford High School.
And really, if you're the Lakers, the one thing that you can't do to close out this half is abandon the run, because, you know, granted you're down 14, there's still 8 minutes left in the half. You can get right back into this thing with how dominant your rush offense is.
Shakespeare in a quarterback draw, takes it himself, shifts toward the left, jukes out of traffic and gets up to about the 38. Jamal Shakespeare, his first big gainer of the evening.
Yeah, really not too surprising, because, again, when this Lakers offense is struggling to get things going, that's the number they tend to call, is Jamal Shakespeare, because they know he can really make something get things going for this Lakers offense better than anyone.
Lopsided after one here at Oxford High School. Same is the case on homecoming night at Clarkston. They're up 21-0 over Lake Orion. Shakespeare hands it off to Duru. He'll escape. It's actually Cameron Hall. He'll get up near the 45-yard line as he fights through a whole lot of traffic. Wildcats attacking and Cameron Hall sticking to it.
Yeah, really very good job by Hall right there to pick up the first down, because he gets touched by about 2 or 3 Wildcats in the backfield before getting to the line of scrimmage.
From the 46-yard line, the Lakers will set up with 7:13 to go in the half. Carver. And Shakespeare will take it out of the gun. He'll escape a tackle. He'll get past the 50. He'll get to the 45, and he'll say goodbye to Chris Pullman.
Yeah, 2 very nice stiff arms by Shakespeare on that play right there. Just look at this first one. Shoves two Oxford Wildcats off of him in the backfield, and then right there, a mean stiff arm just to pick up that first down.
You're Chris Pullman. I'm Jamal Pushman. Get out of my way. I'm in plus territory. First down, Lakers. From the 43, handoff to Duru. Now Duru got some space. And all of that for about 1 yard as he went the long route, took the scenic route on Big Blue's field. Nonetheless, he's going forward. And West Bloomfield going to hurry this one up. Tire out this defense. Make some quick progress midway through the second period. Shakespeare will take it himself, spins out of traffic. Shakespeare up to the 30-yard line. First down and more, lands at the 25. Jamal Shakespeare, a man on fire.
Yeah, I mean, he has not let the first defender tackle him yet this drive, and right there, I mean, putting him through the spin cycle, number 23, Thomas Candela, just no chance of tackling him in space, and he picks up the first down.
Just 45 yards rushing the last 2 weeks for Jamal Shakespeare. He gets about half of that alone so far on this drive. Lakers in plus territory at the 26. They'll hand it off. Espy not going anywhere. Guess who? It's Gavin Munson.
Yeah, and Espy really, just 1 or 2 times tonight, he hasn't been able to get anything on the ground. Right here, if you're the Lakers, you have to be trying to think of how can you fool this Oxford Wildcats defense, who has done a phenomenal job of controlling the line of scrimmage so far here tonight.
Zach Hilbers helping the personnel get in place, pulling Will Espy and Obi Duru into position. Espy comes off the field, Obi Duru in the short side slot. Shakespeare will remain at quarterback. Duru in motion. Shakespeare, now he's getting chased. He's going to go down to the 40-yard line. Oxford answers back, Carter Unruh.
Yeah, a lot like the last time the Lakers got the ball in this territory, crumbling almost as soon as they get there. This time they get sacked as opposed to the penalty, but now you're set up on about a 3rd and 15 right here by the looks of it.
Carter Unruh, 190 pounds. He's up 15 from a year ago, but has lost nothing in that first step. He charges after one of the fastest quarterbacks in the OAA and sends him backwards with 5 minutes left in the half. Third and long from the Oxford 38, and a whistle before the play. And again, it's going to be on West Bloomfield. When it rains, it pours, reminiscent of the weather a couple years ago, the last time the Lakers came out to Oxford High School.
And again, a penalty you just cannot have right there. It's already third and long, and to set yourself even further back behind the sticks is just a crucial mistake.
West Bloomfield going to take a timeout to talk it over. Stop the mistakes a little bit here. The panic can set in and happened earlier on the kickoff. Now West Bloomfield wants to assure that that's not going to happen here. And a critical drive against the Oxford Wildcats. Got plenty of time to continue this drive and limit the potential for an answer from Oxford with 4:49 to go in the first half. You score here, makes it a one-score game. You're going to have to give the ball up at the half anyway, so if you get down the field, you obviously want to put points on the board, Matt, but you want to limit the time Oxford's going to have to answer, especially considering they get the ball to start the third period.
That has to make you think it's 4-down territory right here. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're not necessarily trying to pick up the first down here, rather making it a more manageable 4th down.
Third and long, Shakespeare with the snap. Steps up in the pocket. He's going to go roll out to his right at the 40. He's looking for it all. End zone caught! Touchdown, WB! You need a hero. You got it. Cam Hall puts the 6 on the board.
And just a phenomenal play by Shakespeare, directing traffic from the backfield. It looked like he would have had the first down had he just decided to take off. You know, only defensive linemen surrounding him. But he uncorks one and just a phenomenal throw to Hall, who goes up and gets the football and makes this a one-score game for the Lakers.
His first touchdown pass of the year comes at the perfect time. Lakers knock this down to an 8-point deficit. They can make it 7 with the PAT. It is up and blocked. Oxford gets a hand on it. And the fun stops there for West Bloomfield. Their first score of the night. The kick is blocked, and it will be 6-14. But the referee's talking this over. Maybe, potentially, West Bloomfield could get another chance at this. We're seeing the teams come off the field. It's a false start on West Bloomfield. Not going to happen. Penalties decline. That's the end of the drive. With 4:38 to go in the first half. It is 6 for the Lakers, 14 for Oxford. It's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game, I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted, just whistle.
On their 4th drive of the evening, 3 minutes, 10 seconds of offense for West Bloomfield. They put 6 points on the board. On one of the best plays of the season from scrimmage, Jamal Shakespeare connects with Cameron Hall. The PAT is blocked. This front for Oxford continues to be stout tonight with a clutch play to make it not a 7, but an 8-point game as Oxford will get their 4th opportunity of the evening. Short kickoff for West Bloomfield. A lot of contact at the 25-yard line. That's where Oxford will begin. Close proximity, close quarters as Grayson Boyle takes the short kick.
Two very, contrary styles of kickoff for these two teams. The Lakers kind of opted for that pooch kick to the upman, whereas Oxford tonight, you've seen kind of kick that knuckleball that returners have had trouble with.
Obi Duru chases down the up man. To stop Oxford, the ball is going to be placed at the 26-yard line. With 4:33 to go in the half, Oxford looking to answer the Lakers score and go back up. 2 scores themselves. He'll hand it off right up the middle, up to the 30-yard line, about 4 yards before the Lakers catch up to that. On first down, as it looked like Chris Pullman took the football.
And Pullman, again, two just very stark differences so far for these two teams. Oxford has done a phenomenal job of controlling the line of scrimmage. And right here, they have to be thinking, pick up a few first downs, eat up the rest of the clock. Even if you have to kick a field goal, go into the half with a 2-possession lead.
After that gain of 4 on first down, 2nd and 6 with under 4 to play in the half. Hendricks out of the shotgun, one man in motion. He'll take the football himself. QB draw up to the 35. Quick, speedy, low, and gets a good chunk of yards.
Yeah, just a phenomenal job of accelerating as soon as he makes that read. Just kind of falling right in line with the offensive line and getting it about to the line to gain.
Three timeouts for Oxford in this first half, 2 for the West Bloomfield Lakers. So we approach about 3 minutes and ticking remaining in this first half. Hendricks back under center. Fullback in the backfield. He'll hand it off to him, and it'll go nowhere. Jack Hendricks gives up the football. Carter Unruh takes it. Will Espy says no.
Good job by the Lakers to get back there. But that was almost disaster for Oxford, as it looked like Jack Hendricks tripped while handing that football off. So imagine, fumbles that football, the Lakers could have gotten 6 right there.
As you look at Trevor Potts on the sideline, on the left side of your screen, his first season at the helm at Oxford High School as head coach. Spent 5 years with the Wildcats as an assistant, including the last 2 as their defensive coordinator. And 15 years on the Rochester Adams staff before that at his alma mater.
Oh, my God.
And they get the Lakers to jump. On fourth down, penalty woes continuing to trip up West Bloomfield tonight. Rocky seas as the Lake Show makes their way north into Oakland County on homecoming night in Oxford.
Yeah, just a crucial mistake right there for the Lakers, just handing them a first down. You know, as a defensive player right there, you have to know they're at their own 33-yard line. You have to trust that they're not going to run a play, because, you know, 4th and 5 at your own 33, you're almost handing them points. Just a very undisciplined play for the Lakers right there, and really an uncharacteristic penalty for them.
Oxford content to run the football and milk the clock as we approach halftime. They will get the ball to start the second half. Any points are good points for the Wildcats here. They'll hand it off. And up near the 45 before getting absolutely rocked as Unruh takes the football.
Yeah, I mean, a phenomenal hit right there. That looked like it was from Kyron Merriweather, just flying up at the end of that play.
Oxford going to hurry it up with 90 seconds left in the half. Low snap. And handoff up the middle to Unruh again. He'll get just shy, about an inch of the 45-yard line on the hurry up. Kyron Merriweather again in on that stop.
And it looks like one of the teams opting for a timeout here. Ideally, the Lakers with a chance to get the ball back right here on a 3rd down play.
Yeah, 2 really quick plays. But the Lakers in a favorable position as LaRon Jones, the defensive coordinator for West Bloomfield, in his 2nd season, talks over with his defense. And Brandon Grodel, who remains on the staff, coming over after 5 years coaching under Zach Line before he departed after last season to go to the Denver Broncos as a quality control assistant. Talks it over with his offense, which has had quite a lot of success tonight on their first 3 drives, 2 of those resulting in touchdowns. And so far, this drive, over 3 minutes on the longer side for Oxford, offensively so far tonight.
That's one aspect of this Lakers defense. They are hard to play against for 4 quarters, so it's going to be interesting to see how this second half pans out.
All the more reason the Lakers want to shut down this offensive drive. Hendricks takes it himself. And the referees decide to pitch away one of their flags. This play is going to get redone.
And that was a false start on the slot receiver right there. He was taking off way too early right there.
And favorable for West Bloomfield. It'll set Oxford back. A little bit more real estate to cover to keep this drive moving forward as we are approaching halftime. And for Oxford, of course, you want to put at least 3 points on the board, get that separation before you get the football to start half number 2. But running out the clock here, not exactly the worst case scenario outcome, as West Bloomfield still doesn't have another opportunity to shorten this deficit. 3rd down for the Wildcats. From their 40-yard line, the tip of the pigskin on the white of the 40-yard line itself on the far side hash.
And a tough play call here for the Oxford Wildcats, because what do? Do you run the ball, force West Bloomfield, call that timeout, 3rd and 9, or do you get aggressive and try and put points up on the board before half?
Immediately to his left, one man in the backfield alongside the senior quarterback, Hendricks. He'll take it himself. Quick pass. Unruh going to get swallowed up right away at the 39. Tries to do-si-do with Jamar Bray, and he caught him early.
Yeah, just a phenomenal play right there for Jamar Bray. It just does not let him out of his grasp, and just a phenomenal stop right there for the Lakers to get the opportunity to try and tie this thing up before half.
That is a big fella holding on to him. Jamar Bray, 6'2", 180, going up against Carter Unruh. 5'9" and 190 pounds. That is a wrestling match won by Jamar Bray with $1:13 to go in this half.
And really just one of the few times tonight that the Lakers have been able to get a stop like that. Now, ideally, they have to kick the ball. You have a phenomenal returners as we've seen this year. Hopefully they can make a play right here.
You look at Bryce Tillman averaging nearly 42 yards per return on kick returns this season. Hasn't gotten a punt return yet. It's been all Khalik Robinson so far. West Bloomfield tries to get out there and block it. It is muffed again. Clear conditions, but a tough football to secure. West Bloomfield will get it to prevent disaster. As Tillman, oh man, that's just an unfortunate spot. Lost it in the air, caught up to it. By the time he did, that ball is almost on the ground. Tip of the football landing dead on the 30-yard line. Lucky to recover that, and West Bloomfield will start this drive with 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining in the half. They are down 8 points to Oxford, and the Wildcats will start the second half of their homecoming football game with the homecoming football.
And really just a crucial drive here for the Lakers. If they can get any sort of points right here, that would be huge as they head into the half.
Before this drive begins, a sideline warning against the West Bloomfield Lakers. Discipline continuing to come into question for WB. Carver. Screen pass out to the left side. Isaiah Gray takes it. Isaiah Gray gets up near the 40. That's Cameron Hall. 13 looking a whole lot like 17 when he's moving that quick.
And again, just a great play right there to get things going for the Lakers. They get to the outside, get pretty close to the line to gain, but more importantly, they get out of bounds and stop the clock.
And they only take 6 seconds off the clock in the process. Altogether, well executed on first down. Carver will operate out of the shotgun again with 2 in the backfield and 2 out to his far side right. Carver going to roll out of the pocket. Looks to his right. It is caught at the 45. Breaking a tackle. Willie Edwards up to the 45 and out of bounds. Been waiting to make a play all night. Got shut down once. Got shut down twice. He will not let you do it a third time.
Yeah. Making the play through contact right there. A great job of extending the play for Carver. Delivers a strike to his favorite target, Willie Edwards. And just even more impressively, Willie Edwards finds a way to fight through contact and get out of bounds.
Big time fight for number 5 with West Bloomfield. Putting a little bit of that linebacker experience into the fold. So we have a timeout to stop the clock. West Bloomfield advances into plus territory, where they have been fantastic over the last several years. And they quiet down that homecoming crowd. Say what you will about the OAA Red. They've got some great football teams, Matt, but they've got even better football fans.
Yeah, and I mean, really, you look at the Swamp as a prime example. Week in and week out, you see these students dedicate themselves to these games, the themes and everything they do to just immerse themselves in these games even further.
And it's going to be an exciting finish to these first 24 minutes. Tip of the football on the far side hash from our vantage point toward the Oxford sideline at the Oxford 45. And now the Wildcats going to want to talk it over themselves. See that offensive front as West Bloomfield starting to move the ball in the air. I want to remind you while we take a break on the field here, you can take a break all throughout your weekend and all throughout your week. YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels becoming very popular amongst the greater West Bloomfield crowd all across our social media. Follow us on YouTube where you can watch each and every West Bloomfield Laker football game at Civic Center TV, where you'll also find us on Twitter and on Instagram. Find us on Facebook, another place to watch us live with Laker football all throughout this 2025 season. Facebook.com/Civic Center TV 15. As we look on at A.J. Krupa and this Oxford defensive front, Krupa in the Wildcat 42, the iconic number for generations in this program, takes on a whole new meaning in the years since the tragic shooting in 2021. My apologies. As Tate Meir wore that uniform for many years at Oxford High School, has had that impact. 42 strong. We'll hear more about that at halftime. Quick pass to Joel Davis. Breaks away and gets caught at the 42. Will go backwards right about to the line of scrimmage.
And a great job by Oxford to prevent Davis from getting to the sideline and out of bounds, bringing him down and forcing West Bloomfield to burn a timeout right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, stick around for the band.
With 40 seconds to go in the first half, it is a 14-6 lead for Oxford, but West Bloomfield is in plus territory, and they've got plenty of time to make something happen. We talked about it with the Oxford drive. They get 3 points on the board. It makes it a 17-6 game. Pretty good result, all things considered, on that drive as they'll get the football in half number 2. For West Bloomfield, similar result. Makes it a one-score game, much more comfortably at 9-14, and you're one stop away from being in position to take control of the game after an extended break on homecoming night.
Yeah, and you have to think that's what Oxford was talking about that when they took their timeout, that these next 15 to 20 yards are crucial in really keeping them out of field goal range and going into this half up 8 points.
It is a absolutely spectacular night at Oxford High School for fall football. Carver outside to the right sideline and out of reach, looking for Willie Edwards. Off balance, had the intended receiver in range and open. Just a little too much mustard on that football.
And you have to have this one just on the move. Oh, that looks like that just goes straight through Edwards' hands, and that's just something you can't have. Perfectly drawn up play. You get to the sideline, you're going to stop the clock. Going to be right in the borderline of field goal range, but unfortunately they can't connect right there.
Wind, not too much of a factor. Weather altogether, not too much of a factor tonight. 71 and about 8-mile-per-hour winds in Oxford. A little bit different when you're down in the valley at Big Blue. Not too much as Carver goes under center. Play action, rolls out to his right. And just beyond the 45, he's going long again, looking toward the end zone. Incomplete with a little bit of contact. Roshan wants the penalty. He's not going to get it. He got tripped up inside the 5. We'll take another look at this. Minimal contact. I don't think it was enough. No, he just turned around, looked for the football, lost his footing. The contact near the end of that play, but I don't know that Shannon Roshan comes up with the football, even if the contact isn't there.
Yeah, pretty tough to deliver that pass if you're Carver. It's got to be better ball, and if you want Roshan to catch that, but be able to throw a football like that 45 to 50 yards on the run, that's just a very difficult thing to do, and now set you up for a 4th and about 6 right here.
Lakers are at the 41-yard line of the Oxford Wildcats. One man in motion, Carver looking straight up the field. Got an opening, it's Willie! Willie Edwards gets in the end zone for a Laker touchdown, and we could see this even out before we take a break.
And just a perfect throw over the middle from Carver. I mean, wow. Just a perfectly executed play from the block from Joel Davis to just a strike over the middle to Edwards. I mean, just taking advantage of that last time out you have in your back pocket. It just seems like Oxford was not expecting the Lakers to attack the middle of the field at all right there.
Willie Edwards, the leading receiver for these Lakers so far in 2025. That, can you believe it? Just his 2nd touchdown on the season and his 1st since his 67-yard bomb in week number 1. Lakers will go for 2. Carver under center, handoff, Durud fighting for it at the goal line, pushing forward, they'll go down short. Got into traffic, had the spin out of it, lost his balance. Man, oh man, he is a foot, maybe 2 away from escaping that tackle and tying up this ball game. But just nothing but fight from Oxford to stop that. And for the 2nd consecutive week, the Lakers go for 2 and are unable to complete it. Edwards frustrated on the sideline, understandably so, after a big play with 20 seconds left in the half to put West Bloomfield in position. But hey, look, that's going to happen. A little bit more adversity sprinkled on an adversity sandwich from the first half. They're going to have to take that into the halftime and motivate themselves for half number 2. Plenty of football left at Oxford High School tonight, Matt.
Yeah, but really just a phenomenal job right there for the Lakers to get points right there. But just a great job responding to that second quarter from Oxford. Just, right out the gate, Oxford in the second quarter gets those 2 touchdowns, gets out to a 14-0 lead. West Bloomfield erased that lead just as fast as Oxford took it.
45 seconds on that drive for West Bloomfield. Their shortest drive of the night, arguably their most successful, as they march up the field with strategy in the air and get back in the end zone for the 2nd consecutive drive. Now with 20 seconds left in the half, they'll kick the ball off to Oxford again, likely going to be a short one. And it is, approaching the sideline, bounces, goes toward the sideline, and the Lakers have it. But they lost it. Oh, man. Acrobatics on the sideline as Kalik Robinson comes up with it, and just the right amount of contact from Chase Cardona bobbles it out of bounds, or the Lakers would have had that in the red zone with time and a timeout.
Yeah, we talk about crucial mistakes right there. The Oxford up man almost forgetting that, hey, this ball's gone more than 10 yards. The Lakers can recover it. Just taking his time, getting to that football. The Lakers almost make them pay, but are unable to recover the football.
And with that, Oxford is going to come out in victory formation and call this a half. A wild first half, leaning mostly in Oxford's favor, but West Bloomfield making a charge back as we head toward the break. After 24 minutes, your Lakers have 12. The Oxford Wildcats have 14 on homecoming night. We'll be back with the Laker halftime show in just a few on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Looking for a score, a schedule, a story? MHSAA.com has you covered. Our newly redesigned website has everything you need to follow high school sports in Michigan. And it's optimized for mobile use. Fans can submit scores on a Friday night, check playoff pairings and game times, or read about the student athletes from your community. Your first stop is MHSAA.com. Connect with us online and get everything you need all in one place.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Your West Bloomfield Lakers.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Follow us on Twitter at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy. And if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
Welcome to the Laker Halftime Show on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Tyler Keefe alongside Matt Catoni. After 24 minutes, your West Bloomfield Lakers trailing the Oxford Wildcats 12-14. Matt, it's been an exciting first half. A lot of defense early on, but man, once those offenses woke up, it was some powerful football on the ground for the Wildcats and in the air for the Lakers.
Yeah, we're really used to the Lakers being that team that establishes the run in these matchups. But so far tonight, it's been Oxford really controlling the line of scrimmage, which has led to us seeing a rare occasion for the Lakers, 2 quarterbacks throwing a touchdown pass in the first half.
Just 3 offensive starters and 3 defensive starters returning in 2025 for the Oxford Wildcats. You think about that on paper, might be tough to have that veteran presence and that strong leadership that you need with a young team. Not the case with these Oxford Wildcats. When they turn toward their best and they look toward the next great leader of this Wildcats football team, they often will reward them with the greatest reward of them all in this program, the number 42. Of course, iconic in the Wildcats program, even more so in recent years following the tragic death of former number 42, Tate Meir, who was one of the 4 students who tragically passed in the November 30th, 2021 school shooting at Oxford High School. A.J. Krupa, one of the players on this team that best represents what are known as Tate's Traits by 42 Strong, a nonprofit formed by the Meir family and the Wildcats football program and the Oxford community in the wake of that tragic shooting. You see on your screen many of those traits that are exemplified by A.J. Krupa. And talking with head coach Trevor Potts earlier on this week, is a decision about the 42 being made by the Meir family and by the football coaching staff every single year. It's a big decision to make. It comes down usually to a few players that have exemplified those traits, that have made a big impact on the program so far and will likely continue to make a big impact. Among those traits on your screen, that selflessness, that work ethic, being a great teammate, being humble, confident, and caring, while being a positive influence. As in recent weeks coming forward, A.J. Krupa will visit many of the elementary schools in the Oxford Community School District, where those kids really do look up to these football players, a big part of their community. And 42 Strong becoming a big part of bringing up those next great leaders in the Oxford community. So much of what makes football great in the fall at the high school level is you see these kids emerge as leaders for their team, but become great young men and women as they engage in athletics at their school.
Yeah, and really that's one thing about high school football that you have to do if you want to build a program like Oxford has, like West Bloomfield has. It's, getting involved with the community, just bettering yourself as a person and a leader, not just for yourself, but for the betterment of everyone else.
42 Strong, built to help kids develop in the community with their community in Oxford, providing mentorship, companionship, and friendship to kids all across Oxford. We'll now hear from 42 Strong itself as they have a big mission underway in Oxford that has already made a massive impact on their community.
.42 Strong is formed in the wake of November 30th. In fact, our organizational date when we were incorporated was December 17th, 17 days after the incident. Our goal, to carry forward Tate's legacy, to build on the foundation of peer mentoring that he started and carry his work forward. We founded, brainstormed, created, and launched our program in under 20 weeks. This program meets national standards for peer mentoring. This is an accomplishment that took an entire community to make happen. We believe, and the evidence shows, that we have a very serious well-being crisis, and that's where 42 Strong is focused. So we're taking a two-pronged approach. The first prong, here in Oxford, we will be relentlessly focused on serving the community with our peer mentoring program. We'll build the best program possible. Our mission is to create a better future by helping students develop a greater sense of purpose, community, and resilience. And we are.
I am a mentor of an 8th grade student, and I have heard from both my mentee as well as his parents that I have had a positive impact in his life. And to me, that means the world. The only thing that I joined the program was to try and make a positive difference in our community, just because it's truly so important.
The evidence shows that peer mentoring can be a powerful intervention in the battle against loneliness, depression, and violence. According to a study by Psychology, Health, and Medicine, they did a systematic review of 36 studies on peer violence, and they concluded that peer mentoring is one of the top 3 interventions for reducing peer violence. According to another study by Mentor National, 74% of adults who had a meaningful mentor as a teen say that person contributed significantly to their success later in life. 85% of young people with a mentor say this key relationship has helped them with issues related to school and their education. And 58% said their mentor has supported their mental health. So we believe that peer mentoring may not be the only solution, but it's definitely part of the solution. Our second prong, beyond Oxford, we are using our platform to advocate for systemic changes to improve well-being. We're currently educating ourselves on root causes and advocating for changes that can be implemented locally, statewide, and nationally. We've had the opportunity and presented to the Oakland County Prosecuting Attorney Karen McDonald's Commission to Address Gun Violence. After that presentation, Buck and I were asked to participate in a working group called Preventions, and we will be doing that on an ongoing basis. Through this two-pronged approach, we'll make a difference at home and across our state. Change does not just happen. It takes people to make a decision to make it happen, and then it depends on them taking action. The Muir family exemplifies this statement. In the midst of their personal challenges and emotional turmoil, they decided to make change. They dug deep, they summoned the energy necessary to help kids and help the community. They took action and they created 42 Strong, an organization that's focused on bringing people together and creating positive change. An organization that I'm honored and humbled to be a part of. And I just want you all to join me in expressing our gratitude for the Muir family for doing this.
.42strongtate.org is their website for you to support and learn more about this fantastic organization that has been built out of tragedy, but even more importantly, built out of inspiration from Tate Muir, one of the all-time greats at Oxford High School, not just on the gridiron, but out in the community. Those 3 key pillars, trust, love, build, all plays back into all of Tate's traits. As you trust in your community, you build your community from within, with the kids playing a key role in that, and that all together brings you into a community that has been built on a foundation of trust and love amongst its kids in each and every school. A huge impact made by Tate Neer and continues to be made by all who wear 42 on the Oxford Wildcats team. We'll take a break on the Laker halftime show. On the other side, we'll dive into a little bit more about what happened in the first 24 minutes of this game, and we'll look around the OAA, where other games are also having a big impact on the Lakers' future and a possible OAA Red Division Championship. It's the Laker halftime show on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game. I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
Hi, I'm Kelly Heyer, Executive Director for West Bloomfield Clarks. Congratulations, Civic Center TV, on 1 million views on YouTube. I just want to take a moment to say thank you, Civic Center TV, for your amazing coverage, always making sure our parks and facilities and our programs shine. I'm Kelly Heyer, proud to be 1 in a million.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Welcome back to the Laker halftime show on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. My apologies, Tyler Keefe, alongside Matt Catoni. West Bloomfield trails 12-14 at the half. And what's been a little bit of a defensive game and a whole lot of an offensive game in those final 12 minutes.
Yeah, and really what it's come down to so far tonight is just controlling the line of scrimmages. And that's where Oxford's had the edge. You know, you've seen them kind of average about 5-6 yards per carry, but they've been the ones able to hit pay once they get into the red zone, whereas the Lakers have kind of stalled out. Fortunately, the Lakers have been able to have some long touchdown passes from Carver and Shakespeare, but if they want to win this game, they're going to have to get their rushing offense going in the red zone.
Yeah, Oxford had 5 offensive drives in the first half. That fifth one was just clocking the ball to go in to the halftime break, but those first 4 drives, they punted the ball twice and 2 touchdowns consecutive for the Wildcats. Both of those being late in the first quarter and early on in the second quarter. For West Bloomfield, different story. First 2 drives were a punt. The third drive, a 3 and out. The quickest drive of the night, just 45 seconds, and led to a punt. 30 seconds, it led to a punt. And then they went and scored 2 consecutive touchdowns. But the extra points were where the problems came into play. Missed the PAT the first time around, and no good on a 2-point conversion the second time around. So as much as West Bloomfield's had their struggles these first 24 minutes with Oxford, they've been able to fight their way back. They're still very much in this game, and you can argue at the break that the Lakers have the momentum.
Yeah, really how that half ended, you have to say the Lakers had the momentum, but you also have to kind of think back to those mistakes that they made earlier in the half that kind of prevented them from getting some points in the first quarter and really giving them the opportunity to maybe be out front right now at the half.
Yeah, some of the key players that have been making an impact for both of these teams. For Oxford, they've been getting it going on the ground tonight. A multitude of backs taking the football. Carter Unruh, Chris Pullman been getting a lot of the reps tonight and been scoring also for the Oxford Wildcats. Seth Tabert, another player that's been coming into play in the backfield, but also in that secondary that's very talented and loaded on this Oxford team tonight. A two-way player this season, scored a rushing touchdown last week against the Lake Orion Dragons and scored the first touchdown of the night tonight on the ground early on in the second quarter, just under a minute into quarter number 2. Got home run potential, showed that in the first half, and defensive stalwart, all OAA last season for the Oxford Wildcats. Matt, this guy has been an impact player for Oxford in this first half, continuing this team to make an impact on the ground game. That's been a huge factor for them offensively. The Lakers got to stop the run if they want to stop the Wildcats.
Yeah, and he really stands out. He's a bit of an intimidating runner as soon as he steps on the field, kind of towering above the rest of their running backs and their quarterback, Jack Hendricks. But, with how Pullman's been running the ball here tonight, speed and gashing the Lakers, you have to think they may lean on him or Tolbert a little bit in the second half with how he can provide that power aspect.
Very interesting first 24 minutes here at Oxford High School. Big implications with the next 24 minutes. The results of this game going to have a big impact on the final results of the OAA regular season championship. We'll talk more about that coming up. We'll take another short break here on the Laker Halftime Show. Stay with us on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
Be an advocate for environmental health. A protector of your family.
It's hazardous. It does not go down the sink.
And the things around you. Because our health is connected to our environment, let's work together and make healthier choices for a healthier future. Get started at michigan.gov/envirohealth.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first, I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoy giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
A rarity for the West Bloomfield Lakers, trailing at the half in 2025, being down 2 scores in the first half. Down as much as 14-0 against the Oxford Wildcats on an exciting homecoming night. Packed house at Wildcat Stadium, one of the most beloved locations in high school football all across the Great Lakes State. It's the Laker Halftime Show. Matt Catoni alongside myself, Tyler Keith, through these first 24 minutes. Plenty of people making an impact on their programs tonight, Matt. For Oxford, rare that you have turnover at head coach, where that brings forth much of your coaching staff remaining in place and then having sustained success. That's been the case in the first season at the helm for Trevor Potts, taking over for Zach Line after 5 years as their head coach. He moves on as a quality control coach with the Denver Broncos. Potts, not unfamiliar to the OAA Red Division, his first season as the head coach after 5 as an assistant. including 2 as defensive coordinator. But he's had a chance to learn under some of the greats. Jim DeYager from Rochester Adams, his head coach when Potts played for the Highlanders, and then spent 15 years learning under Tony Petrito, one of the all-time great coaches in the OAA and across the state of Michigan, while at his alma mater, Rochester Adams, before joining Zach Lyne's staff a few years ago at Oxford. Already having a big impact in a tough year where you got a lot of turnover, Matt, on your roster, only returning 3 players on offense and on defense. Doesn't seem to be affecting the Wildcats too much on paper.
Similar offensive and defensive philosophies between Oxford and Rochester Adams. And you see it here tonight. They already have a solid culture, but you're seeing a bit more of that Rochester Adams culture a little bit to where you have to, key in on them every week. It's going to be a tough fight. And so far here tonight, Oxford not really, falling into, we've lost these guys. Or so we have these guys that can make plays. Let's get them the football.
And Coach Potts told me over the phone earlier on this week, offensively, they really do tailor this offense to the strengths of their skill players, especially Jack Hendricks. When you got a guy that executes that well, who's a 3-year starter, who has just been racking up numbers these last 2 years against some of the best teams in the state, including these West Bloomfield Lakers, you're going to give him the pigskin and let him start making the big decisions as a senior.
Yeah, and really in the first half, you didn't see him have to do too much. You saw him make a few passes, have 1 or 2 carries. So it's going to be interesting to see, 1-score game now coming out of the half. Are they going to rely on him more this first drive, or are they going to continue to lean on that running game?
He is a special player for these Wildcats. They really do rely on him to be, quote-unquote, the steady hand of this offense. He's tough as nails. The kids feed off his leadership and the example that he sets in the locker room, on the field at practice, and certainly on the field for these Wildcats each and every night throughout the fall. Jack Hendricks, an impact player, but he's really been able to get the other skill players involved, especially in the running game, calling good plays, setting up his players well, and when he needs to take the ball, making big plays himself.
Yeah, he's done a phenomenal job on both read options and play fakes, where he's made, a guy like Jeremiah Benson, Big Ten commit, one of the best players in this conference, miss an open space and deliver a strike to a receiver downfield, which, ultimately led to a touchdown for them. So it's going to be interesting for this Lakers, arguably the best quarterback they've been matched up against this year. How do they slow him down in the second half?
And a big test for them this week as they get ready to go up against Alex Wajenko and the Clarkston Wolves next week. We'll have more on that matchup in a minute. For West Bloomfield, a key player for them tonight in the receiving game has been Willie Edwards. They have gone to the air tonight to compete with Oxford, has the West Bloomfield Lakers. Had a 67-yard touchdown in week number 1. That's the only time he had scored coming into tonight. Been averaging over 25 yards per catch so far this season in just his first as a varsity wide receiver. And tonight already a couple of pretty big gainers from the air, including one that took him into pay dirt.
Yeah, and really he's been Jackson Carver's, without a doubt, favorite target in the passing game. And he's definitely a bit of, an unmitigated aspect of this Lakers offense. He's just stands out as opposed to everyone else. He stands head and shoulders taller above everyone else, but he still has a similar level of speed that just makes him such a dynamic threat in the passing game.
Yeah, before this week, it's been a bit of a drought in the air for the West Bloomfield Lakers. Had not had a passing touchdown since week number 2 against Southfield A&T. Tonight, all of their scoring has been through the passing game, both in the second quarter with 4:38 to go in the half. A touchdown reception to Cameron Hall, and then with 20 seconds left in the half, a big touchdown to Willie Edwards, a 2-point conversion, no good on that second touchdown score. And on the first one, a field goal was, a PAT, my apologies, was blocked by Oxford. They've come up big in the special teams, and hey, sometimes you got a close, competitive, hard-fought game. It comes down to that third, but still ever important phase.
And really, special teams so far tonight has gone towards Oxford. And, from their kickoffs where they've forced some bobbled balls for the Lakers and then the blocked PAT, the Lakers are really going to have to tune things up on special teams if they want to, maybe make a play that springs them out front in this game.
Just before 7 p.m. tonight, West Bloomfield called it in the air on the coin toss. They lost the toss to Oxford, who deferred to the second half. So despite the score late in the half for West Bloomfield and then Giving up the ball to Oxford with just 20 seconds remaining in the half. Wildcats going to get a chance to try to take that lead back that they lost in those final just under 5 minutes of half number one. Coburn from the far side at the 40, kicks it off. A boomer down to the 15, bounces, Oxford recovers and gets slayed out. Down they go inside the 15. Kalik Robinson lays the wood.
Bit of their taste of their own medicine right there. The Lakers are able to, force a bobble, miscommunication right there on Oxford's part on special teams. Now here they are at their own about, I think it was the 14-yard line where he was brought down on that play. And right there, a huge play for the Lakers special teams to kind of keep that momentum heading in their own favor.
Already setting the tone for this third period as Oxford will begin their 6th drive of the night, their first of the second half. Just shy of their 25-yard line. Hendricks will hand it off. Will attempt to get outside. Tabor escapes, tries to spin out of a second one, gets a couple more. That's about all as he dives to the end of that play, just about up at the 20-yard line.
You see Anderson Krupa right there in that number 42, pulling, trying to be the lead blocker on that play, but the Lakers do a good job of getting out in front and stopping that play before it can really get too far outside and too far downfield.
Tabor comes back off the field. A lot of substitutions at running back. They run 4, sometimes even has upwards of 6 different player personnel in the backfield at running back, taking the pigskin on any given night. Another handoff. This time it's going to go to Boyles. He'll take it outside to the 25 and reach forward to about the 27.5-yard line.
Yeah, one thing that they haven't necessarily done too much there, they faked it for most of the first half, but not really hand the ball off to that motion man. Right there, they hand it off to number 8, Grayson Boyle, and he picks up the first down.
Yeah, possibly by design. At this point, you know kind of what you're working with in terms of your opposition front 7. Maybe that misdirection, play action, not as much of a factor in the strategy in half number 2 for Brandon Grodel and this Oxford offense. And the shotgun with 3 in the backfield. Now a handoff, and right back to the 20. West Bloomfield shuts it down.
Yeah, we mentioned it, right before the half. This Lakers team is very tough to go up against for 4 quarters, especially if you're going to try and just work the trenches and run the football. Right there, the Lakers do a good job of just holding strong and not giving up anything more than just about 1.5 yards right there.
A thick cushion at the line of scrimmage. Shuts down another rushing play for Oxford. A rarity that they've gone to the air so far in this contest. Might be something we start to see as we're just about 2 minutes into half number 2. Oxford 14, West Bloomfield 12. On homecoming night at Wildcat Stadium. Hendricks, play action, in traffic, looking long and out of reach. Had to zip that ball out, launch it down the field. His first target to Brody Casper tonight, sails over his head and incomplete.
Yeah, really the only times we've seen Oxford dial up passes so far today is off the play action. For the most part, they've just kind of, had some bootleg plays going where they just get it to the perimeter pretty quick. Right there, they try and take a deep shot. But that's one thing you're not going to really have the opportunity to do too often against the Lakers, the way that they get pressured.
Contained collapses at the edges as Jeremiah Benson and Jamar Ray chase after Jack Hendricks. He had to boot that ball out quick, almost made the play. Again, he'll go to the air, looking toward the sideline, and again, gonna be too much on that. That time, the first target of the night for Brady Hasselbring, the junior tight end.
And really just a phenomenal job of just stacking the route downfield and not giving him the opportunity to go up and get that football and just cutting him off.
2 straight WB stops in the air. The first 2 plays from scrimmage going in the air for Oxford in this second half. And now with 9:38 to go in the third, they're gonna have to give this ball up to the West Bloomfield Lakers. It'll bounce just beyond the 50. Contact at the ground immediately as Oxford tried to prevent that, taking a bounce. Drew Burney slides in on that one. And West Bloomfield going to be set up with pretty darn excellent field position, their best of the night. Right on the doorstep of the 50-yard line. Their first drive of the second half begins with just under 9.5 left in the third.
And that right there, too, is a prime example of how all three phases kind of feed off one another. You get the good kick right there that kind of pins Oxford deep. Yeah, you give up one first down, but they're pinned so far back that, it doesn't necessarily give up that much in terms of field position. If force them to a 3-and-out after that, now you have the ball at midfield.
2 minutes and 20 seconds on that drive for the Wildcats. Their third drive to end in a punt tonight. In the 48, West Bloomfield handoff going backwards. About 5 Wildcats swarming the ball carrier and setting the tone defensively. And now we got some laundry.
And you saw the Lakers kind of keying on the run to start the half. Oxford doing the same thing, but a little bit too much from them right there. They get a little too overzealous, and it looks like that may be a penalty on them.
You see the flag on the ground. Easy to identify on this blue field. Exactly as you said, a penalty on that Oxford defense will advance West Bloomfield forward as Garrett Gamerick was able to get to Will Espy right away. Something was awry. Not quite set up correct. And now West Bloomfield going to get their first chance at plus territory in half number 2. And march even closer, 41 yards away from taking the lead. Carver under center with Duru in motion. We'll hand it off to him. He'll take it outside. One man to beat. Block. Got to the 30, to the 20. Shifts inside the 10 and down to the 7. Obi Duru breaks free. Lakers blocking up the field for their running back. And he had to escape a handful of Wildcats to make that play.
Again, just once he gets to that edge, he is so hard to bring down. And once he gets to full speed, there's almost no catching him. He just does a phenomenal job of getting upfield right there and making it 1st and goal for the Lakers.
Lakers inside the 10. Carver will remain at quarterback. He'll hand it off. Espy counters inside, pushing for the goal line. He'll get shy of it at the 1.
And I'm guessing now, right now you're inside the 2-3 yard line. I'm guessing this is where you see Jamal Shakespeare come out. And we see him kind of, do what he does best and find a way into the end zone.
Shakespeare, Joel Davis option also on the table. But not going to be the answer. Carver will stay out there, bunch formation. He'll hand it off. Espy shifts again. Touchdown, WB.
And really just right there, perfectly executed. You see that hole right there, and you just see him just cut perfectly. It's vision as well as blocking right there on that touchdown. But Espy just flashing this year in the red zone as a runner.
Take a look at this again. They bring Duru in motion. And a great block up the middle from Joel Davis. Looked dead in the eyes of Gavin Munson and moved him out of the way for his running back. And again, it is Will Espy making key second half plays and giving West Bloomfield the lead.
Yeah, and if you're the Lakers, you have to kind of look back to last week for Oxford. If it has to be in your mind. Oxford jumps out to a big lead on Lake Orion last week. Lake Orion still made that a game in the second half. So, there's some things there for them to capitalize on.
Ball goes in motion, and Shakespeare takes it to the end zone. 2 points are good. Their third time going for extra points. Their first time successful on their second 2-point conversion. And after the first offensive drive of the second half, it is 20 for West Bloomfield, 14 for Oxford. It's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Follow us on Twitter at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
A 1 minute and 6 second drive for the West Bloomfield Lakers results in their third consecutive drive with a touchdown. 20 unanswered points for the Lakers gives them their first lead of the night off a Will Espy touchdown and a Jamal Shakespeare 2-point conversion.
And we talked about last week for Oxford how Lake Orion got back in that game in the second half, but you also have to look at last week for West Bloomfield where they're trailing in the fourth. As soon as they went down, they pretty much slammed that door shut in Grove's face, kind of looking like they're doing the same thing to Oxford this week, falling down 14-0, but immediately surging back to take a 20-14 lead.
Fair catch for Grayson Boyle, just shy of the 30-yard line is where Oxford will begin their 7th drive of the night, just 1 second coming off of the clock on the kickoff. After each week's game, it's This Week in Laker Football. Early on next week, tune in on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Hear from head coach Zach Hilbers and one of many of your West Bloomfield Lakers as we review tonight's ball game and get you ready for homecoming at WB with Clarkston coming to town next week. Under center, Hendricks looks to his right, complete the Boyles, and shut down by Kalik Robinson.
And again, you saw Oxford really get some chunk plays off of this look earlier in the game. Right there, the Lakers are almost expecting it. They have someone just sitting in that flat area right there. And Kalik Robinson delivers a nice hit to the thigh pad to bring down the receiver right there.
After really starting off this half almost exclusively on the ground, it's been 4 consecutive throws for Oxford. And West Bloomfield limiting those results. Do they go back to the run on the far side? Hendricks draw. Quarterback will take it himself. He'll keep it. He'll escape. He will barrel through Lakers and get up just shy of the 40 at the 38.
Doing something we're used to seeing Jamal Shakespeare do. It looks like he's going to get tackled right there around the line of scrimmage, but he just somehow finds a way to keep this run going.
He is a speed guy. You don't expect him to run power, put that shoulder pad down, and make an example of this front 7, but there he goes, this senior. Gets physical and moves the Oxford Wildcats forward. You turn to your captain when you need to light a fire. Hendricks puts a man in motion and another. Snaps, takes it himself outside the pocket. In traffic, has to get rid of it. And the Lakers will get to it. Hendricks able to get that off to Anderson Krupa, who pulls in the pass and lands at the 35.
And you can almost kind of hear it from the crowd, Mike, right there. The Lakers defense doing a good job of almost sniffing out that play action. And just, we talk about these adjustments that teams have to make at halftime. So far, the Lakers really adjusting to the passing looks that Oxford has showed them so far here tonight.
The Lakers' previous drive was just over 2 minutes so far as we get ready for Oxford to once again punt the ball off. This drive just under 2 minutes. They're going to fake it. Here he goes to the sideline. He got laid out. Will Espy hits Jack Hendricks on the sideline and shuts that down.
And just a critical play in this game. And I get why Oxford's making the call. You want to just, shock West Bloomfield, or maybe even if that play pans out, be in the red zone potentially. But just a huge stop for the Lakers. Now you have the ball in plus territory with an opportunity to go up 2 scores.
Perhaps trying to take back the momentum that West Bloomfield was able to grab themselves with 3 consecutive scoring drives and 20 unanswered points. Instead, West Bloomfield with a great break as they'll begin at the Oxford 35 with 6:35 to go in the third. Carver got a pocket, looking up the field to the sideline, caught by Joel Davis, brings it inside, brings it near the end zone. He lost the football out through the back of the end zone. Did it roll out before he got there? We got to take another look at this one.
Or did he step out? Yeah, he may have stepped out, but I don't know. There's no reviews in football, in high school football.
That would be a lucky break. Did he get out? Yeah, he That football came out about the 3-yard line. It bounced in play and then went through the end zone. But they're going to have marked him out. A lucky break for West Bloomfield at the 15. Carver hands it off to SB. He runs into traffic. He escapes. He goes to the boundary. He goes to the sideline. He's still on his feet, and he gets right back about where Joel Davis had lost that football inside the 5.
And again, talk about a range of emotions that you feel in this football game. Oxford, 1 second you're up 14-0. Now 6 minutes into the second half, you're staring down, being down 28-14. Just an incredible response from this Lakers team.
First and goal for West Bloomfield. From the Oxford 3, SB into traffic. SB down at the 1. Oxford stays with it. The fight from A.J. Krupa, from Chris Pullman and company take down the Lakers senior.
Yeah, with 2 hands on that football, he almost powers into the end zone. Something the Rams' Kyron Williams could learn, not fumbling at the goal line, but just a phenomenal job of even almost getting into the end zone right there.
A big-time play for 3 upperclassmen, Pullman, Cardona, and Krupa in on that tackle for second and goal. Carver with Duru in motion, handoff, SB, they'll try again. This time, they'll get in. Oxford says they did not. And we don't have a signal from the referees. That looked really close. Again, as you said, Matt, no instant replay review.
Yeah, I mean, from my angle, he looks in right there. That might just be a little bit of home cooking right there for Oxford.
Yeah, perhaps. We also have a little bit of our own away cooking here from our vantage point. The angle looks good for us. They're going to set it back. Say forward progress was dead at the 4. Shakespeare now in the Wildcat. Davis, the fullback. Shakespeare, quarterback draw, and they got spied. Oxford in on that one. Keaton Posiak looked Jamal Shakespeare down and hunted him at the 5.
Yeah, but you see the refs kind of doing the no good symbol right there. So did they end up ruling SB in on that last play? By the looks of it, that was a 2-point conversion right there. By the looks of it.
We'll get an update on that from our on-site team as they do have that going back to Oxford after this. We'll see. We'll get an update from Dave Scott and Dom Catoni on site. We did not see a signal from the referees. All right, they did give a touchdown with 5:26 to go in the third to the Lakers on the rush from Will Espy. And then an unsuccessful 2-point conversion with Shakespeare that now makes it a 26-14 game. As West Bloomfield will kick it off to Oxford. Short kick to the 20-yard line. Boyle has it, brings it up to the 30 and up to the 35 before the Lakers finally catch up to him and bring that kickoff return to a close.
And really just now, if you're the Lakers, this is their favorite part of the game. You know that Oxford's going to have to kind of lean on that passing game now, down 2 possessions in the second half. And that is music to this front seven's ears because nobody gets at the passer better than the Lakers so far this year.
And again, a very short drive for West Bloomfield. 1 minute and 15 seconds and their 4th consecutive touchdown. Now Oxford's got to try to get some of that momentum back. They had 2 consecutive scores themselves and since have been outscored 26-0. This drive begins from the 35. Handoff and up to the 40-yard line goes Seth Tabor.
Tabor doing a good job of recovering his footing after getting tripped up right there around the line of scrimmage. And just, again, you see that footwork and that control right there to, maintain control and pick up a few extra yards as you're falling down. You See him run off the sideline right there. As you know, Oxford has done a good job of rotating those ball carriers and making sure whoever has the rock is at their full capacity.
That is the benefit of having anywhere from 4 to 6 players that will regularly take the football from the running back position. The handoff goes out of bounds about 3 yards shy of the line to gain as Chris Pullman takes the pigskin.
And I think that was Shakespeare right there. Yeah, Jamal Shakespeare just throwing him down to the ground right there. It's not too often you see a guy that also plays quarterback be that physical in the run game on defense.
So now this game going in West Bloomfield's favor at Oxford High School, up 26-14. Clarkston at the half was up 35-7 on Lake Orion. So West Bloomfield, both these results remain the same. They would come into next week in the lead in the OAA, and the win against Clarkston next week would secure them the red. But still plenty of football left to play here as Hendricks gets chased, throws it outside, and West Bloomfield lays out his wide receiver.
Yeah, and again, they haven't really been able to get anything going downfield. You see for probably about the 4th time tonight a delayed screen for Oxford. But that play, once again, just gets blown up as the Lakers are doing a phenomenal job of just sitting in the flats and not letting those plays open up for them.
Keaton Posiak got the ball on the screen, just a dump out, a check down, and ended up turning into a bit of a crash test dummy there for the Oxford Wildcats. As this now 4th down, they're going to keep their offense on the field.
Yeah, because of that fake punt, you kind of have to go for it now.
They'll go for it. It'll be caught. It'll be close. In the air. Acrobatic catch for Connor Hickey. They're going to give him the first down. Zach Hilbers can't believe it.
Yeah, I have to be in agreement with Hilbert right here, because when he catches that ball right there, he doesn't have control. He doesn't get control until he gets both feet on the ground, and he's behind the yard to gain. He catches that ball about the 45-yard line is when he gets control.
They've already had a sideline warning in this game. Now they're going to get an unsportsmanlike conduct on that sideline that's going to only make that even more of an impact for the Oxford Wildcats. Even if you could get a measurement out of that one, the unsportsmanlike going to automatically give Oxford the first down.
And I think that one got called on Hilbers right there for his reaction after they called that a first down. But, you know, sometimes you kind of have to get one of those if you're a coach to just show your guys, you know, that you're as invested emotionally as they are. For all we know now, we could just see Jeremiah Benson or one of these guys get at the quarterback and force a turnover.
4th down conversion turns into a first down at the Lakers 40. Play action, Hendricks way on back. He's going to look up the field and have to just dump that ball away.
And right there, just nothing doing downfield. Again, as talented as we talk about this Lakers front seven and what they can do, the secondary is just as talented, and they do a tremendous job of erasing tremendous receivers week in and week out.
It features senior safeties in Will Espy and Jamal Shakespeare. Cornerbacks like Bryce Tillman and Christian Banks. Banks and a free safety, a junior coming up this year. Kalik Robinson, who up to this week had not allowed a single reception in 2025. The 2nd down, handoff. Gonna go to Tabor, gonna get tripped up just beyond the 40-yard line. Lakers get in on it. Ezekiel Davis got him.
And that's one thing that you see these Lakers linebackers and safeties do better than almost anyone else in the OAA. They sneak in between those blocks, not even necessarily pushing through contact. They almost just sneak their way through the blocks and just find a way to the ball carrier.
Coach Hilbert's continuing to have discussions with the officiating crew as Oxford continues this drive in Laker territory. They have now broken beyond the 40-yard line. Ball placed at the 37 of West Bloomfield. Hendricks play action. One man to beat is Gray. Throws it out to his right and it is batted down. Isaiah Gray gets at it. This senior makes that incomplete.
Yeah, really, and on a defensive front that features Jeremiah Benson, Gray is still somehow the tallest and with the lengthiest wingspan of the bunch. And right there, he puts that on display and what he can do. He's got his hand on a bunch of passes this year, about 5 by my count, I think. And just right there, he takes advantage of his size, just keeps on going lateral, not allowing Hendricks to get too far. And he forces an incompletion right there.
Looking at a lot of things in his future, considering electrical engineering, engineers a stop on 3rd down. Here they go again on 4th. Hendricks outside the pocket, up the field, low, and it is stopped. Kalik Robinson.
Very nearly came away with an interception right there, but better off not picking that pass off, but just a phenomenal defensive display right there, just tightening up after that penalty.
On his back plate, Kalik Robinson has a simple message for the OAA and every single solitary opponent. You shall not pass.
And in a long line of talented defensive backs at West Bloomfield, Kalik Robinson has done a good job of kind of establishing himself as that name now.
A turnover on downs. The 4th consecutive unsuccessful offensive drive for Oxford as West Bloomfield takes over. With 2:25 left in the 3rd, Keegan Hickey takes the football for about a yard.
And right here, the Lakers can kind of slam the door shut on Oxford if they can get into the end zone right here. Again, we've talked about it a few times already this half, just how quick things can change. But that's just the biggest skill of this Lakers team so far this year, how they respond to adversity.
Lakers moving down the depth chart, just the 11th carry of the season for Keegan Hickey. 2nd down, handoff right up the gut. Gonna go to the line of scrimmage and then backwards again on carry number 12 on the season. Again, it is Keegan Hickey.
You know, doing a good job right there. Oxford right there stuffing the run, making this about a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7. Now, if you're the Lakers, might have to pass the ball right here, but I wouldn't be too surprised if they just get the ball in Obi Duer's hands.
Been pretty typical of the Lakers tonight. They have short but successful offensive drives. Got to keep this going if they want to make it potentially 5 consecutive scoring drives. They were down 14-0. And it all began with 7:58 to go in the 2nd quarter. Their first of 4 scoring drives that have brought them all the way to 5:20 in the 3rd. And now with about a minute and ticking left in the 3rd period, it is 3rd down for West Bloomfield at the 40. And Coach Hilber's irate, did not like the way they were setting that up. Players not in place, the wrong personnel set up. And a delay of game will set the Lakers back. This is an interesting situation too, because the Lakers, for the 2nd time on the road in the red this season, are in a stadium that has a play clock visible on the field out of both end zones. So they can see how much time is left. Got to manage that offense, get the personnel in place, not just on the quarterback. That's a mistake for the Lakers. Carver escapes, got to make a play himself. He looks up the field, going to dump that ball out to the sideline. It is caught by Cameron Hall at the 48-yard line. He got it.
It's going to be pretty close to the line to gain, but a phenomenal job of getting his feet in bounds right there, but also an incredible throw by Carver. I thought Carver was just throwing this ball to the sideline to make sure, you know, we don't lose any more yardage, we can pin him deep, but he delivers a strike right there and just a phenomenal catch to make this 4th and short, but it kind of looks like the Lakers are going to opt to punt it right here and play field position.
So take a look at the chain gang on the Lakers sideline. It's West Bloomfield focused on the task at hand. It'll be 4th and short. Shakespeare is in. They will not punt this. He will take it. He will get it. He'll go into plus territory and all the way down to the 43.
You see number 5 right there, Chase Cardona. He very likely saved this play from being a touchdown somehow. You see him right there just latch onto Shakespeare's leg, and that's what prevented him from just shrugging off 2 or 3 tackles and taking that to the house.
Shakespeare has been big on the scoreboard already tonight. A 2-point conversion, very impressive earlier on. Had a couple of really nice plays at quarterback also, including a long ball that ultimately came back off a penalty, but he's really starting to emerge. They're going to have to replay that. Oh, man.
Yeah, it looked like Jeremiah Benson got called for a face mask. But again, we talk about these penalties and how they can impact games. Right there, it's about a 10-yard gain on 4th and inches. And now you're at 4th and 16 because of a face mask.
A little less painful when you're up 12 points. A lot different when you're down 14 on the road on homecoming night in the first half. At one of the toughest environments in the state of Michigan at Big Blue on this turf at Oxford High School. Nonetheless, you don't want that this late in the season. You've surpassed the mid-season mark. You're 5-0. You're looking toward a possible OAA Red Division championship. You want to be playing the most disciplined football at this time of the year.
And we saw how that holding call last week wiped out a touchdown, and right there, face mask, similar to a hold, wipes out a huge, crucial first down. Hilbert looks angry about something.
Another whistle from the officiating crew that the Lakers sideline does not agree with, but they gotta choose their words very wisely. A sideline warning and unsportsmanlike conduct. Another one of those from the Lakers sideline could impact Coach Hilbers and his status in this game tonight. Procedure penalty is what the officiating crew decided, and they'll talk it over with the third-year head coach. 2003 alum of West Bloomfield, where he was quite a prolific quarterback himself. High praise last week when I talked about Coach Hilbers with Brendan Flaherty, longtime head coach in his 25th season at Birmingham Groves. Said, hey, look, this kid was quite the quarterback, and he's already emerging as quite the head coach. And sometimes that passion, you put it on a little bit extra in an emotional game where your teams had to fight back. Keep that inspiration high on what's been now the first failed drive for West Bloomfield since 10.5 left in the second quarter.
And if there's any time, though, for Hilbers to be mad or upset, it's definitely after his team accrues 20 yards worth of penalties after picking up a 4th and inches right there in a game where they really were in position to just kind of put the game away right there if they were able to pick up points.
Officiating crew still setting this up. They want to make sure they're getting the play clock correct before they whistle this active with 14 seconds left in the third quarter. It is 26 for the West Bloomfield Lakers and 14 for the home Oxford Wildcats on homecoming night. Carver will punt this away. It will go past the 50, bounce at the 45, and really take a Laker bounce. A little bit of extra wind as Khalik Robinson tries to blow on the football at the 22-yard line. With 2 seconds left in the third, that is where Oxford will begin their fourth drive of the second half. They're only down 12 points, Matt. A 2-score game, but still very doable. Theoretically, you're not going to get some of those points back in these last 2 seconds unless something goes really right with a whole lot of luck on your side. But 12 minutes of football, those extra 2 seconds, can do a lot for your offense to get you back on track against one of the toughest defenses in the state of Michigan in the West Bloomfield Lakers.
You've seen them kind of burn them on counter plays or pull action plays, so let's see if they run the ball here and try and burn them.
From their 22, Hendricks will hand this off. Counter up to the 25. And that's going to be just about all for the Oxford Wildcats and Chris Pullman as we come to the end of the third quarter. After 36 minutes, West Bloomfield 26, Oxford 14. It's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game. I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
The final 12 minutes of this OAA Red Division matchup between the West Bloomfield Lakers and the Oxford Wildcats begins with the Lakers in the lead, 26-14. Here at Oxford High School, where it was a rough first half on the scoreboard for the Lakers. And after spotting the Wildcats 14 points, they have come back with 26 of their own, and now the Wildcats will begin the fourth quarter with the football 2 seconds into this drive. Hendricks going left to right across the field. Play action, got a pocket, looking up the field toward the 50, caught, and tons of room. Nothing but space. One man to beat is Shakespeare at the sideline, and he'll push him out about the 7-yard line. Connor Hickey picks up a whole lot of real estate.
Yeah, lapse in coverage right there. Nobody within about 10 to 15 yards of him right there. And yeah, you know, I have to think that they were too keyed in on the flat, selling out on those short passes. Right there, they get burned downfield.
You give Jack Hendricks a chance to make a play. You give a speedy guy like Connor Hickey a little bit of space. He's going to make it happen. He's been quiet tonight, but this is a guy who had 105 all-purpose yards to open the season against Heartland. First and goal, Hendricks hands it off. Tabor takes it in. The drought is over. Touchdown, Oxford.
And that's exactly what the doctor ordered if you're Oxford right there. About a 4-play, just a quick and easy drive. And that's something they needed right there, just cutting that lead in half in just 3 plays.
His second touchdown of the night comes under a minute into the fourth quarter, as his first touchdown came just under a minute into the second. 2 tonight for Seth Tabor. It is 26-20, and Oxford will bring on a PAT. Palacios puts it up and puts it through the uprights. It's a 5-point ball game. Stick with us. 21 for Oxford, 26 for West Bloomfield. It's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
One in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy. And if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
The Oxford Wildcats began with a 14-0 lead near the half over West Bloomfield. And then it took 20 minutes and 25 seconds before they'd score again to make it now 21-26. A return for Cleek Robinson goes backwards, tries to escape, and got tripped up. Oxford stuck with it. Tackaberry fell down, and then he did the same to Kalik.
Understandably upset with himself at the end of the play. That's the second time he's done this tonight, and it's just something you cannot have in a one-score game. You talk about the penalty on the last drive costing them. Right there, that is a crucial penalty, because now if you go 3 and out or you have to punt, you're giving Oxford very favorable field position to take the lead right back.
West Bloomfield will begin their drive with 11 minutes and 33 seconds to go in this ball game. They are only up 5. Their biggest lead tonight, 12. as Oxford's put up the most points against these Lakers so far this season with 21. On first down, Duru takes the handoff. A few escapes and gets only a few as he brings it up to about the 13.
It does a good job of picking up a handful of yards right there. But, I mean, if you take a look at that left side of the line right there, you have Travis Robertson, Jeremiah Benson, and Joel Davis serving as the lead blockers. Then you even have Will Espy coming through the end right there. That is just a forceful lead blocking unit right there, to say the least.
Lots of football left, in 11 minutes and ticking, in fact, in this 26-21 ball game in favor of West Bloomfield. On second down, they'll hand it off. Bit of a break up to the 20 before some traffic ends that play for Will Espy.
Yeah, crucial first down right there for the Lakers. You know, Espy really serving as that guy so far this year, aside from Jamal Shakespeare, who moves the sticks, who finds a way to get into the end zone. And right now, that's the biggest key for the Lakers. You have to find a way to keep on picking up first downs, stacking first downs, and eating up time off this clock.
Update from Clarkston High School. That game is in the deep freeze after 42-7 in favor of the Wolves. West Bloomfield still got some business to take care of here. They got a lead, but they got a little over 10 minutes to keep it that way.
Yeah, have to find a way to get into the end zone here. I mean, yeah, field goal makes it 8, but you feel very comfortable if you can come away with a touchdown right here.
Carver hands it off. Espy up to the 40 and a first down for West Bloomfield.
Espy so far tonight, I mean, he's just been phenomenal at just making guys miss at the hole and just accelerating right there. He gets the ball. He sees just one guy waiting for him. I think that was, the good old number 42. And he just, does a good job of making his way upfield and finding a way to pick up first downs.
A guy be able to capitalize on opportunities. Carter Unruh tripped up in the boundary, and that set up a big play for Will Espy. First down for WB with about 10 minutes left in this contest. West Bloomfield, they got to get on the board. 3 points makes it at least a score and a 2-point conversion difference. A touchdown makes it comfy.
And I think the way that the Lakers are moving downfield right now, they're staring right at that play clock and right at the game clock. You can kind of see them just sitting there knowing, okay, let's take our time getting into the ball, make sure we're lined up, and just keep on trying to gain 4 to 5 yards each play like we see Espy do right here.
Yeah, just about a handful for Will Espy on first down. The Lakers' longest drive tonight was their second drive of the evening. Back in the first quarter, about 5 minutes and 44 seconds. Since then, a lot of 2-minute drives that have resulted in touchdowns. A few 3-minute drives along the way as well. Duru gonna fight for the first down, gonna get it and a little bit more, and just shy of midfield, will go out of bounds.
And again, just racing to that yard to gain. He knows, it's got that sliver to where he has to get it. And he just does a good job of pretty much just racing to the sticks.
6 seconds at a time, 10 yards at a time. As we have a Laker down on the field. We're going to take a break as they attend to Jeremiah Benson. Stay with us. It's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Inside your brain is the control center for how you think, talk, learn, and remember. 10 tips to keep it healthy. Get moving. Read a book. Reduce stress. Sleep well. Eat healthy. Quit smoking. Manage your blood pressure. Challenge your mind. Wear a helmet. Stay social. Be mindful of brain health now to help prevent things like dementia later. Learn more at michigan.gov/mybrainhealth.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Today I'm going to tell you about sportsmanship because it's important. Treat your opponents the way you would want to be treated. My mom says that. Listen to the referees. It's their job. Be nice to their team and our team. Cheer them on. Always play fair. It's the right thing to do. It's sportsmanship. It's not that hard.
As we return from an injury timeout, there are 9 minutes and 1 second left in this ball game. West Bloomfield with a narrow 5-point lead, 26-21. Third and short for the Lakers. Shakespeare in the Wildcat. Takes it himself. Breaks free at the 50. Shakespeare got two men to beat to the 20. Shakespeare still on his feet. Hesitates. Shakespeare going yard. Touchdown, WB.
I mean, nobody is going to write up a better play right there than Jamal Shakespeare, and just a phenomenal run. We talked about this earlier on a similar short yardage situation where, you know, he just has one guy to beat, but, you know, one guy gets his hands on his ankles and he's able to bring him down right there. They can't slow him down. And once he has one or even two guys to beat, you're not stopping Jamal Shakespeare. If it's two guys in open field, I have more faith in Jamal Shakespeare to make both of them miss than two guys collectively to make the tackle.
Had a two-point conversion earlier, and he just tripled that sucker for a touchdown. 54 yards to the house. As Bryce Coburn puts through a PAT just like that. 33 for West Bloomfield, 21 for Oxford. It's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Follow us on Twitter at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Hi, I'm Lauren Azuri, the Park Naturalist Supervisor for West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations to you, Civic Center TV, for hitting 1 million views on YouTube. We really appreciate your partnership in spreading nature education in a creative way in our community. I'm Lauren Azuri, proud to be 1 in a million.
After a touchdown from Jamal Shakespeare, quieted this homecoming crowd. West Bloomfield's lead is back to 12, 33-21. With 8:47 to go in this ball game. West Bloomfield just a little bit under a 3-minute drive and another touchdown. They'll kick this ball off to Oxford. It's a boomer, gonna land at the 17, up to the 20 to the 25, past the 40. Oxford still on his feet, and Chris Pullman gets to the 44.
And really just a huge response from the Lakers right there, mainly Jamal Shakespeare, you know, making that 54-yard run to give them that 12-point lead back. But, I mean, my God, just how this Lakers team continues to respond throughout this year is huge. And just something come playoff time that you're going to have to, you know, bear in mind.
His first rushing touchdown of the night, his 7th on the season. He had to fight for that one. Had two men up the field from the Wildcats. And he brought a sword to a claw fight. The sea versus the mountains. On first down, Hendricks with 8:40 to go up the field, and it is caught. A leaping grab at the 35, advances to the 28. 42 strong, it's A.J. Krupa.
And just a phenomenal job right there by Krupa on that wheel route, just getting upfield and almost kind of following that other route that's going upfield. And he makes a phenomenal job. That ball's a little high, but he gets up there and he makes the catch.
That young man is an athlete, a two-sport athlete, plays lacrosse. A fast kid too, 4.7 40-yard dash. On first down, Tabert will take it. He'll get about 4 on the rush, and another quality rep for Seth Tabert.
Face mask on the Lakers at the end of that play, too. Just, again, another crucial penalty that you can't have.
Ray and Merriweather in on the tackle, and Oxford going to get that lucky break. They need it after a quick scoring drive for West Bloomfield. A quick answer would make this interesting once again.
You know, if you're the Lakers, you could have lived if you let them drive down the field slowly. But right there, they're gifting them the ball inside of the red zone.
Cannot give up those opportunities, not against the OAA Red Division. This is a toughie. It is an honor to play in the red, said Oxford head coach Trevor Potts. You got to approach every game with that kind of respect. Not just every game, but every series and every rep, or you could find yourself fighting from behind. Wildcats from the Laker 14. A toss and a whistle immediately as Hendricks delivers that to Pullman. That whistle at the line of scrimmage, laundry on the field, and officials will call it. And again, it is the West Bloomfield Lakers getting in their own way. An offside penalty will advance Oxford even further forward in the red zone, down to the Laker 8-yard line.
And we saw about 20 yards worth of penalties take a first down off the board for the Lakers 2 drives ago. Now right here, 20 yards worth of penalties might as well just hand points to the Oxford offense right here.
7:48 and ticking left in this one. First and goal from the 8-yard line for Oxford. Hendricks hands it off. Tabert shifts around, and his 3rd touchdown of the night. Oxford answers.
Yeah, and right there, a phenomenal job by Oxford answering that. But Lakers, you have to just be kicking yourselves because that 15-yard face mask, a crucial penalty in this drive, allowing Oxford to maintain a few extra minutes on the clock.
They made real quick work of that one. 1 minute and 8 seconds on that touchdown drive. Palacios with Cardona on the hold, splits the uprights, and again we have a 5-point ball game. Oxford 28, West Bloomfield 33. It's Laker football on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
The Lakers began the 4th quarter with a drive just under 3 minutes and a touchdown. To bring it back to a 12-point game, Oxford only needed 1 minute and 8 seconds to settle the score. It is 33-27 with 7:25 to go in this ball game. The kickoff to West Bloomfield advances forward to about the 30-yard line as Bryce Tillman-Jones gets the kickoff return and loses his helmet in the process.
And now for the Lakers on this drive, your main goal isn't even necessarily points. You want to eat up as much time as you can. Ideally you eat up the rest of the game. But if you can eat up about 4 to 5 minutes of this clock and kick a field goal, that is about as successful as a drive as you could ask for at this juncture.
Yeah, since the quarter break, it's been quick drive after quick drive for both of these teams. Not even 5 minutes has surpassed in this quarter just yet. So these defenses got to be getting tired. For West Bloomfield, that war of attrition could be the deciding factor. They'll begin this drive with 7:24 left in this contest. The 32. Handoff to Duru, getting shifty outside the tackles, runs into traffic. A.J. Krupa lays him out at the 31.
Picking up about 2 to 3 yards right there on first down. That's really all you have to do right here if you're the Lakers. Get 3 to 4 yards of carry. Even if you have to take a fourth down play, you have to just keep on taking as many plays to convert first downs as possible.
We thank you for tuning in on civiccentertv.com/LakersSports. Locally on Comcast, Channel 15 and 19, AT&T, Channel 99, and those joining us on the web from West Bloomfield, Oxford, and everywhere in between on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15 and YouTube at Civic Center TV. Carver, play action, shifts forward, going to take it himself. The scramble just shy of the 40-yard line as he runs out of bounds.
And it looks like both sides are calling for a flag. I wonder, who on each team. I don't think either one was thrown, but just a phenomenal job by Carver right there to make this a 3rd and short.
Yeah, perhaps Oxford thought Travis Robertson was holding on to Carter Unruh a little bit too far into that play. A lot of action happening at the shoulder pads as Unruh was trying to escape, but he had a chance there. No call. There's been a lot of close ones tonight. This officiating crew content to let the young men play on 3rd down. Shakespeare at the line of scrimmage escapes and again finds the sideline and plus territory.
Just a crucial first down pickup right there for the Lakers. And you see Shakespeare almost kind of dupe Oxford by he runs into the pile, but then just reverses his field and goes back and picks up the first down. I mean, he has been incredible tonight, like a magician with the ball in his hands.
He ran into his lineman, he ran into a few Wildcats, he ran into the boundary, and he made the play.
And it looked like that play was just designed to be chaos and violence. It looked like Tank Pittman was out there as a lead blocker. But nonetheless, they pick up the first down.
From the near hash on the 50, West Bloomfield with the football. First down handoff. Will Espy will get about 4. Just shy of the 45-yard line to set up a 2nd down.
Just a great run right there because, again, you're just trying to stay on schedule at this point. You don't necessarily need a home run. You would love a home run hit, but, eating up as much time off the clock is just as good as a touchdown here.
Yeah, just a couple plays so far. 1:24 and ticking has come off the clock. It's been about what the Lakers have been doing tonight in terms of the length of their drives. Their longest just over 5 minutes. They can match that. They can put this one away.
Not too much Joel Davis so far tonight. I would try and work him a few carries.
2nd and 6. Handoff will go to Espy again, and he will get up to about the 42-yard line to set up a 3rd and 2.
Getting into that Jamal Shakespeare range. Once again, you're at 3rd and 2. Do they trot him out there, take 2 attempts at this? Or do they keep Carver out there and maybe burn him with play action?
Misdirection on the sweep from Duru, the block from Joel Davis, and the get from Will Espy. And all 3 of those players can take the pigskin. As you see Mario Roca come in this Wildcat. 2 blockers, Roca and Joel Davis, with the Wildcat quarterback, Jamal Shakespeare. On 3rd and 2, Shakespeare. Hey, diddle right up the middle. And to the 38, but Oxford said he dropped it. That would be a big turnover. They are celebrating at Big Blue.
See, I think he was down, but again, you're not going to be able to review it. And you see the ref kind of holding his hands at his side, like, what do we call it? But, I mean, just a crucial fumble right there from someone who, for the better part of his varsity career, who's been very sure-handed with the football. Oh, no, he lost that early. Wow.
Big thank you to our crew on site, Dave Scott and Dom Catoni, for capturing that, and Calvin Brown on the replay back at Master Control makes that image a lot clearer. And now, not only do you lose the football, you lose the momentum. That is a huge stop at a critical juncture for the Oxford Wildcats in fantastic field position, placed at their 42-yard line. First and 10. Hendricks will hand it off. Pullman will take it outside to the 50 and up to the 45. Uncle Mo has come to town on homecoming night, and he's wearing Oxford blue.
And now if you're Oxford here, you have to feel very content just running the football. Right there, you get a huge chunk run for about 20 to 30 yards. And now you're almost knocking on field goal range. Granted, you're down 5. But, you're almost in the scoring range where you can just start kind of applying that pressure to West Bloomfield and maybe force them to call a timeout or two.
The clock definitely going to be a factor now. That West Bloomfield drive, relatively short from a clock standpoint, just under 3 minutes, but pretty long, all things considered, from their trends tonight. As Oxford will hand it off to Tabert. He'll get up to the 40-yard line, and another quality rep in the backfield for the Wildcats.
And you see Tristan Hunter very upset at the end of that play. Let's see. Kind of looked like he was calling for, he felt like his face mask got pulled. But, right here, if you're the Lakers, you got to stay level-headed. 4 minutes left. You're on the road. They're inside of plus territory. Gut check time. If you're able to get off the field right here, you can win the game for your team.
You want to be the champs, you've got to beat the champs, and you've got 4 minutes to make that happen. Hendricks hands it off to Tabert, and back to the line of scrimmage and nothing more. West Bloomfield all over it. Tristan Hunter stepping up.
At Tristan Hunter making a critical tackle right there to make this a 3rd and long. And I think Oxford just burnt a timeout right there. And now, they're in passing position. Nobody gets at the passer better than Jeremiah Benson on this Lakers team. If he can get a sack right here, the Lakers are just in tremendous position to win this game.
He's got 10.5 tackles for a loss in 2025 in just the first 5 weeks. He has been unbelievable. A penalty on Oxford declined by West Bloomfield and will keep the Wildcats at the Laker 41. On the far side hash for our perspective tonight, that is the home side of the field. Fantastic facility here at Wildcat Stadium. 3:34 and ticking left in this contest. West Bloomfield 33, Oxford 28. As Hendricks hands it off, another 3-yard drive or so as Seth Tabert again gets his number called.
Yeah, just trying to set it up for a more, obtainable 4th down. They're looking at about like a 4th and 5, 4th and 6 right here, I think. And now if you're the Lakers, the one thing you can't let them do is burn you on those bootleg plays. That's the only really thing that they've done to gash them in this second half, and that's how they kind of got a spark in the second half, was those wheel routes down the field.
3 minutes left in this ball game. Oxford has 2 timeouts. West Bloomfield has 3, and they have a 5-point lead. Boyle in motion for the Wildcats. Wide into the boundary. Hendricks taking his time. Going to get another signal from the sideline and another timeout for Oxford. Burn the clock, try to force West Bloomfield offside on 4th down. Doesn't happen. They're going to think this one over.
Yeah, you could hear the West Bloomfield coaching staff just emphasizing, do not jump, don't jump, don't jump. We saw them get burned on that in the first half, and that's just something absolutely you could not do right there. And now Oxford burns another timeout. You get the stop right here. You're staring down victory formation.
A correction from our master control. That is the first timeout for Oxford in this second half. They have 2 remaining. As you may see on your screen, watching on CivicCenterTV.com, on YouTube at Civic Center TV, and on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. West Bloomfield still has all of their timeouts, could play a factor if Oxford is to convert on 4th down. Hendricks under center, bunch formation. In the eye. Handoff, up the gut.
Well, that's close.
And they say they got it. Oxford thinks they have it. It is going to be close. You are darn right. And they
just barely got it.
Wow. One official marking it short. The other says no, it is. Advancing forward, and Oxford converts on 4th down.
Again, Oxford taking their time getting to the line of scrimmage. Again, they're only at the 35. They haven't necessarily passed it with that much success tonight. They're not doing themselves too many favors right now.
Just as it should. It's going to come down to the trenches. A whistle on 1st down. And offside on West Bloomfield. That is a critical error.
And that's about the 3rd time tonight they've lined up offsides, and it's just a penalty you cannot have, especially at this juncture. 2 minutes left. They're already closing in on being inside the 30, and you just help them out.
Only benefit right now is that you have a 5-point lead. If you can shut down this offense and make them burn clock, make them, even if it seems like this drive is not going to be successful, have to go for a field goal. It's about all you can hope for. That is wishful thinking with under 2 minutes to play. Boyle takes the handoff inside the 20. Oxford's in the red zone with under 2 minutes to play.
And again, that penalty makes it 1st and 5. Just very easy to pick up the 1st down right there. Now they have 1st and 10 inside of the 20-yard line. And if you're the Lakers, you have to start feeling that pressure of your own goal line starting to creep up on you.
Oxford has never won 2 consecutive games against the West Bloomfield Lakers. And with 90 seconds to play on homecoming night, they are 18 yards away from possibly making that a reality.
If you're the Lakers, you have to still maintain your discipline, because you know they have those play actions in their pocket that they're just waiting till you just commit way too much on the edge and you get burnt 15 yards down the field by a receiver heading towards the flat.
And you're just waiting for a big play from Brady Hasselbring. Limited targets tonight. Brody Casper also the case, same with Connor Hickey, and they've made big plays when they've gotten an opportunity. And you said it, really great point, Matt. Play action is going to be a factor here. It is dangerous because you've got a 3-year starting quarterback and one of the all-time greats at the helm for Big Blue and Jack Hendricks. Under center, hands it off, up the middle, breaking down to the 12-yard line. Oxford slices and half. They have 1 remaining with 46 seconds outs. They trail 28-33 at this juncture, but they are inching scary close to taking back the lead for the first time since way back in the first half. The last time Oxford led was with 4 minutes and 39 seconds left in the quarter. So in the second, sorry, the last time Oxford led was with 8 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in the third quarter before West Bloomfield had scored and converted a 2-point conversion to go up 20-14. And it only matters if you lead after 48. The handoff to Tabor, not at the 10. And guess who it is? The Boogeyman. Welcome to October.
And a huge tackle right there. Yeah, Oxford burns a timeout right there, but that's a huge tackle. They bring him down at about the 10-yard line. You know, now can't necessarily lean on the run. They get a good run there on first down. They could maybe just keep on continuing to try and just run it right up the Lakers to get the touchdown. But now, 2nd and 10, 36 seconds left. You can't really lean on that run game.
It's going to come down to playmakers. Matt, you called the number of Jeremiah Benson, and he delivered. Oxford's going to do the same with their playmakers. You're looking to Jack Hendricks. You're looking to Seth Tabert, who has 3 touchdowns tonight. His 4th could seal the deal. Hilber's talking about perhaps the play clock or the time remaining in this game, both critical factors. Likely would be the time remaining in the game. And the officiating crew sends him back to the Lakers sideline. 36 seconds left in this ball game. 10 yards to pay dirt for the Oxford Wildcats. They're trailing 28-33 on homecoming night. They embarrassed the Lakers at home a year ago in West Bloomfield while on the road. And this year, they're trying to upset the undefeated Lakers on homecoming night. A classic in Oxford. Hand off to Tabor, right back down at the 10. Again, it's Jeremiah Benson in on that one, but the key hit came from Tristan Hunter.
And again, just 2 critical stops right there. Oxford just trying to, eat up as much yardage as they can, just make it, just as versatile as a play call as they can. But now here you are, 3rd and 10. The Lakers doing a phenomenal job of standing up tall as a defense.
And Oxford has to stop the clock again with 31 seconds to go in this ball game. On 3rd down.
That wasn't even who he was. That wasn't even the intended target.
Say his name and he appears. They believe in Jack Hendricks. And he comes up with the play of the season.
Oh my, that hit the hands of number 11, Brody Casper, and into the hands of another receiver.
And just like that, the Oxford faithful is back on their feet. From a 5-point deficit to a 1-point lead, they're going to try to make it 3 with a 2-point conversion. Hendricks looking to the middle again, deflected and no good. That will give West Bloomfield one more chance with 22 seconds left in the game. Oxford leads by 1 point. We'll take another look at that 2-point conversion.
I mean, you have to be I don't even know how the team has to feel. He gets his hands on that right there. But if you're the Lakers, you have to those 2 plays right there. You're heartbroken.
And once again, it is the 6'5" Isaiah Gray with the stop. Not the kind of thing that jumps right off the page. But with 22 seconds left and 1 timeout remaining, and the potential of these returners, the potential of that Carver to Edwards connection. And so far, the promise we have seen from this special teams front for the Lakers, that stop by Gray could be a difference maker. Let's find out with 22 to play. Recovered and collision. Turu's going to have to go backwards to get forward, and he'll only get to about the 25. And on top of that, 6 seconds come off the clock.
And, I mean, the Oxford special teams unit so far today has done a phenomenal job of just mitigating this Lakers special teams unit and even causing some miscues of their own, which you just haven't really seen from the Lakers so far this year.
The Oxford drive to take the lead. 4 minutes and 24 seconds. It is their longest drive of the night. In this second half, their second, right about their longest of the evening altogether. And the most important, now West Bloomfield got to do the same. They got 16 seconds.
Can't necessarily go into prevent against a team like the Lakers too, though.
And Carver is hit as he throws the football. They do not call it incomplete. They call it a fumble. This game is over. Take another look. We'll slow it down. We can go backward on that a little bit or see it again. Right there.
Yeah, that's out. Oh,
it's
my.
out. It's forced forward by the contact on the attempted sack. And it did look like it forced the arm forward, so you could call that a throw. He was still in some sort of a pocket, but that does not matter. West Bloomfield was 5-0 for the first time since 2015, and that is where the win streak will end. 34 for Oxford, 33 for West Bloomfield. Laker postgame show coming up on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
And as the Oxford Wildcat faithful have a homecoming night to remember. They stormed the field on a 1-point victory. Their fourth win of the season provides the first loss of the season for the West Bloomfield Lakers in an absolute heartbreaker. It's the Laker postgame show, and for the first time this season, it comes after one in the loss column for the Lakers. And Matt, if you're gonna lose a football game after being 5-0, might as well be one of the classics in the OAA Red Division.
Yeah, I mean, that last throw right there by Jack Hendricks, almost kind of an homage to the Sea of Hands and Ken Stabler. I don't know how that pass gets completed. It deflects off of the intended receiver's hands just into an Oxford receiver's hands. It's just, you have to just be heartbroken right now if you're the Lakers.
You were waiting for that moment, for play action to come back in to that offensive scheme. It had been run, run, run. It had been pass, pass, pass. They went back to the rushing game on that sustained drive at the end of the game. It was about 3 minutes or so they had it. Yeah, they had for 4 minutes and 42 seconds, their longest drive of the game. And it was the very last play with Jack Hendricks. Play action, rolls out to his right. He throws that ball. He intends it to go to Brody Casper. It tips off his fingers, and Brady Hasselbring made the critical play. And then you got what might be the most questionable play of the year right here. A fumble call with under 15 seconds to play on Jackson Carver is the turnover that ended that ball game. West Bloomfield had 22 seconds on the kickoff, 16 seconds on the offensive drive. It took one play on that final offensive drive to end the game. And what will be a call that many in the West Bloomfield side of things will argue for years to come, perhaps should have been an incomplete pass, and for Oxford will be one of the iconic moments in the history of this football program.
Yeah, and West Bloomfield just made one too many mistakes throughout this game that kind of just gave Oxford the opportunity to do what they did and snatch the hearts of Lakers fans and the team in that last-second touchdown.
2 fumbles on those final 2 drives ended this game for the West Bloomfield Lakers. They played a quality game overall, fighting back from adversity they hadn't seen all season long. No team had scored on the Lakers more than twice this season. Lake Orion's 16 points were the most that anyone had scored on the Lakers in 2025 coming in to tonight. And then tonight, 34 points, the difference maker for the West Bloomfield Lakers defensively. They gave up 34, the first time they gave up more than 3 scores on a season, and it is what turned the tide for the Oxford Wildcats. And now it makes things even more interesting going into next week, where both Clarkston and West Bloomfield have just one loss in the OAA Red Division. They match up together next week. It's a 2-horse race at the top for all the marbles at West Bloomfield High School.
Yeah, and really, again, you talk about how going into this game, they'd only given up 2 touchdowns all year. And then you have Tabor tonight. He scores more touchdowns against the Lakers than they had given up all year, 3 touchdowns. And it's just going into that game now, it's, I guess they kind of had to take their medicine before And now going to that game, you have some things you have to adjust.
You got the 24-hour rule, Matt. After a win, you don't celebrate it too long. You put it in the rearview mirror, you focus, and you move on to next week, Friday. Now the Lakers got to do that in a depressing situation, a heartbreaking loss on the road at Oxford in the game where you started to take back the momentum. You saw it slip back the other direction. You thought you might have had it, and it slipped away at the end. They got to have short-term memory on this loss and not dwell on it, but use it as motivation to go out and win the Red against a top 5 team in the state in the Clarkston Wolves, who just had an emphatic rivalry win against the Lake Orion Dragons tonight.
And I guess the one thing they have going for them is they can very easily tell where everything went wrong. You know, you have the 4th and inches where Shakespeare converts, but they pick up 20 yards worth of penalties in the next, 30 seconds, and they end up having to punt the football. Jamal Shakespeare picks up the first down, but unfortunately he turns over the football for the first time this year. Just very easy places to pinpoint where this game went wrong. And now the Lakers are going to have to try and find a way to eliminate those mistakes.
They got just under 7 days to make those adjustments before the Clarkston Wolves come to town at West Bloomfield High School. We will have that for you here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM Friday next week at 7 p.m. from Lakers Stadium. The winner of that 48-minute contest will be the OAA Red Division champions for 2025. As for tonight, it is the 2024 Red Division champions, the Oxford Wildcats, victorious in one of the all-time great games you'll ever see in high school football in the state of Michigan. Final score from Wildcat Stadium, 34 for Oxford, 33 for West Bloomfield. We thank you for tuning in and encourage you to stay with us each and every week for Laker football on civiccentertv.com/LakerSports. Tune in there for This Week in Laker Football coming up early on next week. We leave you tonight with some of the key plays from tonight's classic between the West Bloomfield Lakers and the Oxford Wildcats. From Wildcat Stadium alongside Matt Catoni, I'm Tyler Keefe. Good night.